Cheers,
successful 2023.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
I'll talk about whatever. My life's all kinds of crazy.
Hit the bell!
Because you have an Android.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Just suck.
Just subscribe already. I think we're good. We're ready to roll.
Cool.
You comfy? You happy?
Yeah.
Microphone, I would just say try to keep closer than further.
Okay.
And you get it swivels back and forth,
Sure.
whatever. That's the biggest part. Trying to get people comfortable with the microphone. Just because people think they're going to break it if they touch it.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they think they're
no.
going to mess it up. I'm like, no. You can do whatever you want with
This
these
is
things.
okay. Got it.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the podcast, Jaime.
Hi. Well, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. I appreciate you coming out today. It's Tuesday. This has been a crazy week for me.
Feels like Monday.
It does feel like a Monday.
It does.
Anymore, I kind of just lose track of my days.
Same.
Because you said you're third generation entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
I've just been slowly entrepreneurial and more in my life. And the more you do it, the more you realize, like, you don't really have a day off.
No.
Like, you're working every day. You guys, YouTube's telling me that 75% of you guys are not subscribed. That's absolutely insane because I upload almost every single day. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe with the bell so you guys never miss a video.
Every day, every night.
Yeah, and there's some days that you might go for a while and life's kosher and everything's going good. But then when something falls apart, everything falls apart.
Yeah.
And then life's busy and then you're working sun up to sundown and even some after night and you're working late nights. And that's where I'm at right now.
Nice.
Because I just been having, at my gym, people don't realize that you can't flush certain things down the toilet. And so it causes a lot of problems. And everybody at a gym, you need a bathroom.
Right.
Because that's when everybody comes in, they're taking pre-workout, they're drinking coffee and caffeine.
Yeah.
And you got to have bathrooms in a gym.
Yeah.
You're getting the blood flowing. So that's been the fun I've been having all week already. So, yeah.
All week. It's Tuesday, man.
Yeah, well, I'm talking, my week started on Sunday. Okay. My week started last Friday. Actually, when this problem started. I was at home working on, I had a car that kind of messed up. And so I was working on it, and then I get a call that my bathrooms are messed up. I'm like, oh, my goodness. When it rains, it pours kind of thing.
Every time. Every single time.
So, Jaime, I want to try to, because this is our first time meeting.
Yes.
You
It is.
reached out to me, and you said, hey, Ryan, you need some, how'd you phrase it?
I said you need some female energy on this podcast.
Yes, that's it. And I totally agree. It's not always easy. I don't know if it's a guy, because I'm a guy reaching out to women. Well, would you say there's a lot less women entrepreneurs? I feel like it's changing though.
It is changing.
Yeah.
I think everything's changing. You know, we started it as where just dad worked and then mom and dad worked. And now, I grew up in a house where both of my parents worked.
Yeah.
For themselves all the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
All the time.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and that's where you get it from.
Yes.
Right? The entrepreneurial thing. I actually, now that I think about it, I said that, it seems like there's a lot, maybe more men entrepreneurs, but I don't believe that actually at all, because I actually see now a lot of women going out and starting their own business and a guy working a job, actually. It's actually the woman's more of the entrepreneurial. And I like that. I've had some women on, but I don't know if it's just maybe, I don't know what it is.
Might be like a timing thing. They might just be too busy or might just not want to take the time.
And I think also just as me being a guy, maybe I just haven't met as many women in the entrepreneurial world. I'm sure you know probably
I do.
more women in the entrepreneurial world. I'm sure you know a lot of men too, but I think it's just maybe like my demographic. I just don't know them.
Maybe.
Because I didn't know you. If you didn't reach out to me, I would have never found out who you were.
Sure.
And when I had you yesterday, which, talk about short notice, but I had you yesterday like, hey, can you give me a kind of like a rundown, a briefing, so I kind of knew something?
Sure.
This is what I love about the podcast is I get to meet new people.
Sure.
It's so fun because the whole meeting someone or hearing someone's story is motivational to me.
Sure.
And so I love hearing it. And I had kind of seen online kind of a briefing of you, but I was like, I want to hear it from her.
Sure.
And I was like, you kind of gave me a good briefing, and I was like, I can come up with some more. I'm like, no, that's perfect.
That's my highlight reel.
Yeah, just save it for the podcast for the rest, because I enjoy the learning part of it too.
Absolutely.
So where do you think, would you say your entrepreneurial or your entrepreneurial life started as a kid?
Oh yeah,
From your parents?
Most definitely. I would say it started as a kid. My mom had a salon. My dad was a firefighter in St. Louis County, but on his days off, he built houses and did construction. So that was whenever I was younger. But I mean, even I joked, even when I was campaigning, like I was in kindergarten and I'm going around to the neighbors selling things that I've made.
Yeah.
Or, hey, would you like to buy I was always selling something, always trying to figure out a way to make money, even when I was like 5.
Yeah.
So,
you just did it naturally.
Yeah.
That was what you did for fun.
yes.
So entrepreneurial just kind of runs in your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always heard that, like, when it comes to finances and comes to like this kind of lifestyle, that is taught not in school but at the dinner table.
Absolutely.
That's what I always heard.
Absolutely.
So when did you start your first? Because you own a business,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But you came in today, when you came on the podcast, you came in and you're like, I brought gifts. And I'm like, okay. And you're like, these are some air fresheners
Sure.
for my car wash.
Yeah.
And I know the car wash isn't your only thing.
No.
So
Yeah.
let's for the people that are listening.
Sure.
If you guys are listening, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Yes,
Help me
please.
grow.
Please.
I'm at 371 for subscribers right now. We've been really starting to take off here lately.
Nice.
For me at least.
Sure.
Maybe not compared to some people, but
Sure.
for me, I've been taking off. But we need to keep those numbers rolling. So if you guys are listening, you guys are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But for the guys and girls that are listening, can we get like a briefing on kind of the main highlights of what you own and what you do?
Sure. So I'm going to go way back to 4th grade when I bought my first cash register.
Okay.
So most kids are out playing, sports, and I'm playing store with my friends. So my mom saved all of her empty boxes from the kitchen, and I had a store in my basement. So that's when it started.
It's funny you say that. Sorry to cut you off, but I did the same kind of thing. Not to the T, but I did a lot of them. I remember I had a toy box, and I pushed it in front of my door. I don't know why I remember this in particular, but I pushed it in front of my door, and I would set stuff up on a shelf behind me, and I would sell. I'd get like my family and come and buy stuff from me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to college, but I bought my first rental house when I was 18. So I was in high school.
What I'm gonna cut you off so many times.
That's okay.
Story.
It's all right.
18 years old, buying a rental property.
Yes.
Was it your parents' influence that helped you get it? Do your parents have rentals?
So my parents have like 88 residential real estate properties, and then my parents also have some commercial properties.
In the 88, are they multi-units?
Some of them.
Yeah, because it's hard to get to 88.
Yeah, some of them are duplexes and townhouses and things like that, but no apartments per se. Like no like apartment complexes.
Yeah,
They're
no
all
like 20 units.
Yeah, no. They're all like
that's a lot of single
four is the
families.
most. 4 is the most that they have, and those are the townhouses.
Apparently they've been doing it for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So is your parents' influence? They were like, hey, this is a good investment?
Yes.
Now, was it like their pressure on you, or was it like you were like, I want one?
No, like
You were just hungry for
I've
one.
always been hungry. Always.
So 18 years old, and did they? Now this might be a little personal. Did they just help you get the loan for it, or did they like a personal finance, like a personal note for you, or
No. So my dad, like I said, my dad builds houses. So my dad had built the house and then sold it to me at a discounted rate.
Sure, family discount.
Family discount.
Sure.
And then I was in charge of renting it and all of the things. I collected the money. I pay, my dad, I don't even remember if my dad co-signed for the loan because we had set it up where I only needed the loan for 80% of the value.
Sure.
So I didn't need the 20% down.
Cool.
So
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, because I don't think a lot of people understand. It's more than like there's a finance method behind buying rental properties, and like you can as the bank wants there to be 20% equity there somewhere. So if you can't have an extra 20% equity in the property, they want you to put the 20%
Yes.
down. But if you can buy a house that has enough equity in it, you should be able to just finance it without any money
Yes.
down. And that's where like, I think there's like a big misconception on buying properties out there. It's like, you just got to make sure you find the right one.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, everybody just wants to jump into one real fast.
Sure.
And I'm like, no, you gotta search for the deal.
Sure.
And it's going to take some time, and maybe it might need a little bit of work, but that's how you find deals. And that's because everyone's like, I can't afford 20% down every time. I'm like, yeah. Me neither. You got to find the deals. So
You have to get creative.
you certainly
Very
do.
creative.
You certainly do. One thing I had to do when buying rental properties was maybe it didn't like, wasn't able to cash flow as much, but I was able to find, maybe it had a big lot on it that I could sell off, or maybe like that I'm keeping in the future to maybe build on,
Sure.
build another property on, or maybe it has a shed on it that I can be like, this isn't included in the rental property, and then I can rent out that shed
Sure.
for an extra 25, 50,
Sure.
$100 a month, depending on how big the shed is.
Sure.
So there's things like that I think people don't realize you can do, but that's really cool that helped. That's cool that you had like a family that was able to help you do that.
Yes.
And I'm sure did they help you get a contract and stuff?
They had, I just borrowed theirs. They had all the things.
There's nothing wrong. Like, yeah,
They had all the things.
that's like, that's nice because for me, and that's what I'm trying to do for my kids. You know, I'm trying to get it set up and get a nice,
Sure.
My first contract was pretty freaking wimpy. Like, it was extremely wimpy.
Yeah.
And it was a bare minimum. And now I've had an attorney write a really nice,
Sure.
hefty one up. And every time I'm like, I need to change this in it. I have them go and change it. And then I hope one day if I have kids that
Sure.
I can kind of pass that along too.
My mom's done a pretty good job of making sure every T is crossed and every I is dotted on their leases.
Yeah.
So, I mean, down to the brand of candle that you can burn.
Really?
Yeah. So,
I know there's a lot of people that this is something I'm wanting to get put in, that basically any service call that's under like $100 or $75 is on the tenant, because a lot of times like tenants know that
yeah.
you had to come and fix it, so they're just like, oh, screw it, I'll just pour grease down the sink because that's not my problem, kind of thing. But that's a $75 service call, just have someone come out and run a snake through
Right.
it. Well, if they know they had to pay for that $75 service call,
idea.
they
Might take care of it a
they
little
don't
bit.
call you on the little petty stuff.
Yeah.
Because, dude, I had a guy, and he'll probably even listen to this, maybe, I don't know. But he had me coming back to try to fix a screen door
Okay.
on I have a duplex.
Okay.
And he kept calling me back because he's like, there was too big of a gap in it. And he thought there was, he's like, bees are kind of getting in and out of it. I don't know if it did, but he's like, it was letting a lot of air in, everything like that. So I went over and I adjusted it. He said it wasn't good. So I went over and adjusted it again. He wanted me to come back a third time and adjust it. And I said, I'm going to leave his name out of it, but I'm like, I'm just going to take the door off. We don't need the screen door.
Yeah.
Like, it's just an extra door that's there, but you have a main door on it.
Yeah.
We're going to take it off. And then we didn't got to worry about adjusting
Right,
anymore.
right.
And then he's just like, oh, well, I guess it's not too bad.
Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah, problem solved. But that kind of stuff is like, I can eliminate that crap if you put that in there where it's
So
charges.
that's another advantage that my parents have, is because my dad has the construction company and all of my parents' units are locally. My dad doesn't want anything out of the area.
Yeah.
So if somebody's dishwasher's leaking or a screen is out, my dad can just send one of his guys by.
What a
Take
great
care of it.
idea.
So it just kind of crosses over.
I've wanted to do that. I've thought about that in the past. I've actually been pulling away from rental properties. I love business more. I think there's more money in business. And I also don't want to fix toilets the rest of my life.
Well, my mom always says she was a very nice person until she got into rentals.
Sure. And then you have to call us up.
And then now she doesn't. She
Just doesn't put up.
she does have a heart.
Yeah.
She does have a heart, but she does not really.
Well, if you are too nice, like everybody wants to be really nice. If you're too nice, people will walk over you.
Oh, yeah.
They abuse that.
Yeah.
I've tried to help people out. I remember there was one lady that she was down on her luck. She had 2 kids. She just moved back to the area. She'd been living out of state for a while. Moved back to be around family, and she's like, I have a full-time job. She's like, I just need a place to stay. And like she wrote me a letter of why she thought she needed to move in. And I was like, okay, I'm like, I understand you're a single mom and you're working hard, and it did seem like she wasn't even, it was just a brand new house at the time. I had completely renovated it, and she ended up getting on drugs and trashed the entire place. Had her kick her out. She had some guy move in, squat in it,
And you probably will never see the money from that.
no, I won't ever see the money from it. And yeah, it was like, I think it was well over $10,000.
I was say, were you able to turn it into insurance or anything for like vandalism?
Okay. Nope. And I just had to take the loss on it and move on with my life. And I couldn't even sweat it. Like, I had to just fix it, move
happens.
on. Yeah. But after that, it was like, nope, not doing that no more.
Yeah.
And now I'm to the point where I tell everyone when they're moving in, I'm like, yeah, this is a business. And I was like, me and you can get along very, very well if you pay me on the first, pay rent on the first, and you take care of my property.
Yeah.
You do those two things, we'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't do those two things, we're not going to be friends.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with you. It's not that I hate you or nothing like that. It's the fact that this is a business. We're exchanging money for a house. I have a house. You need a place to live. You pay me. We're going to be doing good.
My dad's saying is you can be the asshole with or without the money. So,
Yeah.
like
Right.
at the end of the day, like just give me my money.
Right.
And my mom's saying is don't avoid me.
Yeah.
Like if for something, something comes up, your check doesn't go through, or just let me know. Do not make me find you.
Yeah. I tell them that communication is key.
Yes.
If you can't pay me, because anymore, it's rent's due on the first, evictions at 5 o'clock. So by 5 o'clock, if I haven't heard from you or nothing, I'm calling my attorney.
Yeah.
Start the process.
Yep.
I've called my attorney multiple times, had him pay $100 just for him to write up a
letter.
contract. Yeah. And and it's just, it's like, my thing is like, if they don't call me, I automatically assume the worst now.
Yeah.
I assume you're not going to pay me. I assume I'm not going to hear from you. And I'm just going to get you out of my house as soon as possible. Because if I start on the first, I might be able to get you out by the first of the next month.
Yeah,
If I'm lucky.
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And so that's my whole plan is, let's get you out as quick as possible. Because if I wait till the 15th to contact you, then it's the 30th.
And it's a whole nother month.
Yeah,
You're
so now
out.
I'm out 2 months.
Plus
or more.
the time it takes to turn it over to be able to rent it again.
Yes.
So
'Cause you got to go in and clean it up.
yeah,
Yeah.
fix whatever they may have destroyed.
Yeah, and that's if you can get them out on time.
Yes.
Right? Because the writ of eviction's 10 days.
Yes.
So there's at least 10 days there after court.
And most of the time, I'm going to say this lightly.
Yeah.
But most of the time, those people know how to work the system.
Yeah.
And my parents have, like, when they started out, they had more basic units than I'm going to say they have now. Now it's to the point where everything they have is something that my dad has built. So it's higher income, or it's higher rent.
Yeah.
It's a nicer place. And honestly, that just kind of weeds out some of that.
Yeah.
Just because it's, it's a
I
lot of
found
rent.
charging $25 for an application weeds out a lot
Oh, yeah.
of bad tenants.
Yes.
Just a 20.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do. I think I've even. At one time, I was telling people, I'm like, if I end up renting it to you, I'll give you the $25 back. But I don't do that anymore because I'm like,
No.
it's $25.
$25.
You eliminate all the people that, they're just bouncing from house to house. They don't have any money. I don't know how they scrape up enough for the down payment and the first month's rent, but because they like those ones can't even pay the extra $25 for the.
Well, like I noticed my parents always get an influx around tax time. Everybody thinks they're rich for a little while.
Oh yeah.
They're like, I got the first month's rent, last month's rent, and the deposit, and then 4 months later, they're like, I can't afford to live here.
Yeah.
that was nice, but I can't afford to live here.
Yeah, I've had them tell me that they're just going to pay me for the year. They're like, we're just going to get caught up, and I'm like,
So sometimes
go
they
for
do
it.
that, and that's really nice.
They never do it for me though.
Oh, they just say it.
They just tell me, they're like, hey, I got a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And then next time I see them, they're driving a new vehicle.
Yeah, they
and they're like giving me rent in all ones and like $10 in quarters or something
and you
like
have
that.
to hang it out to air out.
I'm like, come on, man, what happened to paying me, getting caught up on your rent? Because that would have been a good idea.
And that's like, whenever I was growing up, I remember my mom always, because my dad was always working at the firehouse or doing construction or whatever. So we would go, I have a younger brother, he's 2 years younger. And we would go with my mom when she would clean the units or when she would show the units or go to collect rent. And I remember one time she went up to their door and they were like, I don't have the money. She went out to their trash can, opened it up and said, how'd you buy all these cigarettes and beer then?
Yeah.
This is, so I mean, mom gives no, she doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, and that's a big reason why I'm kind of, I think I'll always own it, but I think I'll push it over to a management company. And because like, even in my gym right now, I'm cleaning toilets.
Right.
Like I'm like literally cleaning the toilet pipes out. And even if like the gym isn't, if anything's not handled right, you know, like I have someone that works there. She does great. But in the off chance that something gets missed, it's my business that looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go in, it's like, okay, well, I got to clean these toilets. I can't just, I got to handle the problem.
Well, how long have you had the gym?
July of 2021.
Okay. So just from experience, so I had a store, a dollar store for 10, almost 11 years. And I was the same way. Like I was taking out the trash or I was doing the things because nobody else could do them the way I wanted them done. And I'm like, how do you people not see this?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not see that this, or why can't you? But then I learned it's my store and my ownership and nobody else is going to treat it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just not.
Yeah, because, it's my baby.
Yes.
But for them, they're just coming there to get a paycheck.
Yes.
And that's where I've learned. That's what I said. The girl that works for me right now does fantastic.
Yes.
And she does, she does a great job. And I just learned that, but the only reason she's just showing up to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure she has a good work environment,
Sure.
make sure she tries to get paid good, make sure that like as a boss that I just treat her right, like with respect, everything like that, and don't overextend her responsibilities.
Sure.
And so sometimes like I can understand that, like how busy it gets, and the fact that she can't get out and clean, or the fact that I can't expect her to do certain things for the amount of money she's making and everything else she's doing. So that's when I just had to be like, it's part of being the business owner.
Right.
Like,
and she gets to clock out.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
She gets to go home and not worry about
Right.
the gym.
She
There's an advantage, a luxury to that.
Right. Unless I'm paying her like a very good salary where I expect her to go home and worry about it. But in a small business, it's hard to pay someone
Very hard.
to do that. Very hard to have the funds there for that.
Yes.
So, okay, so let's go back. You got your first rental property at 18.
Yes.
Which is awesome, by the way.
Nice.
How cool. Congratulations. And then what after that?
So I went to college. I went to Webster in St. Louis, 4 years. My dad told me I had 4 years and 4 years only, and then I was on my own. So in that 4 years, I was able to get 2 bachelor's degrees and a certificate.
What do you mean your dad said you had 4 years?
So my dad said he would pay for my college for 4 years and 4 years only.
Okay.
So, because I had a lot of friends that would end up changing majors or, and then they're like on the 6-year plan or whatever. My dad said 4 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all.
4 years, that's all I get.
You get to go any college you want?
Probably.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I wanted to go to Webster. So it was,
What was your major? When you go into college, you're like, you knew what you wanted out of high school? You think you knew what you wanted?
I thought I had my whole life planned out.
Yeah. That's being young, right? You think you got it all figured out?
Yeah, I got it all figured out. Everything's going to go exactly like I have planned. Like
So what you went to college for is not what you ended up doing?
Well, no, I went to college. I got a bachelor's in business administration, a bachelor's in management, and then my certificate in entrepreneurship.
Wow.
So I used my electives to take the other classes so that I could get it all done in 4 years.
Cool.
So in the entrepreneurship program, we had to come up with a business idea. So mine was a concierge type service, like basically like personal shopping, because I like shopping. So I figured I could find a way to monetize it. And I was in Webster, so I'm thinking, these older people would pay me to pick up their dry cleaning and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then joke's on me. I graduated in May of 2009. I was actually doing my internship at Scottrade when everything crashed. The entire world. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so
a big housing.
Yes.
boom.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I graduated in May 2009. Here I have all these fancy degrees, and there are no jobs.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
And you just had your first rental property. Did that affect you at all?
No, because I bought the rental property, and then I turned around fairly quickly and did like owner financing on it.
Oh, okay.
So I sold it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So they were, and then I ended up having to foreclose on it and got it back, so that was a process. But so here I am with all these degrees, no jobs. What do I do? I'll just go get my master's degree because I love school.
Back to school.
Back to school.
But now you're paying for it.
Well, my brother decided not to go.
Oh, so you got
So
your
I
bonus
got
card.
my brother's college fund. So, but I got my master's in a year. So it wasn't that excessive.
And what was the master's?
MBA.
MBA. Okay.
So, but I knew as soon as I graduated with my undergrad at Webster that I wanted to go back and get my doctorate because I wanted to be able to put doctor on my checks.
Sure.
Like when I'm.
And is this now at this point it's just like you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
This is something for your own self.
Kind of. Yeah. So but I'm also, we've been talking about this a lot actually. You know, I was of the generation that, you know, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get a degree, you get a good job, life is good.
Yeah.
So it was almost, when I was graduating high school, it was almost like that was what you did.
Yeah, I would agree. At that point, at 2009, 2010 life, it was very like peak.
Yes.
College is everything. If you don't go to college, you're not
Yeah.
making anywhere in life.
I feel like in the last like 5 to 10 years is when it's kind of shifted over to, hey, the trades really aren't that bad. And my
Yeah.
friends that didn't go to college like to give me a whole lot of crap because they're making a lot of
people are
money.
starting to figure out YouTube and TikTok and all these social media content platforms, and people are starting to realize like, hey, I can make $60,000 a year making content on a platform, and I don't even have to go to college, and I get to do what I want.
Right.
You know, so that's.
So that was always my goal. So I wanted to get my doctorate. I wanted to be called doctor, and I wanted to be able to teach at the university level because I wanted my kids to be able to go to college for free if they chose that route. It was not pressured on them. If they could do whatever they want in life.
Yeah.
So I was teaching at East Central College over in Union because it was really important to me in my programs. I was being taught by people that had never done what they were teaching me.
Yep.
So
that's why I have a problem with bankers and teachers.
yeah.
And even some mentors, life coaches, therapists, all those things I have a problem with. Like, it's hard. I did therapy for a little bit of time in my life just because I wanted to see if I'm all about like just mental growth and bettering myself.
Yes.
And it was just a point in my life where it wasn't like I really needed therapy, but I wanted to see if therapy could help just make me a better person in some way. This was right before I started the podcast.
Best version of yourself.
Yeah, and actually when I was doing therapy, it was on BetterHelp.com.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it was in here, and
Okay.
my desk used to be right in front of here.
Sure.
And as I was doing these sessions, the podcast was like slowly popping up in the background.
Nice.
And I was telling the guy like, "Hey, I'm getting ready to start a podcast,
Right.
all this stuff," and I don't. And I only did this one guy, and I only did it for like a month or so. And I was doing it weekly, but I was trying to talk to the guy, but I just felt like he couldn't relate to me. And that's where I'm like, I just have a problem doing this because I just don't feel like he understands because he's never been through it. That's like when I call a banker, I'm like, hey, I got this business idea.
Right.
This is what I'm wanting to do. This is how I want to do it. And they try to tell me, they try to give me their advice on it. And it's just like they're not entrepreneurs, so they don't see the vision in it all. Same thing. I've had rental properties that I've tried to go buy, and they don't see like the equity thing.
Yeah.
Or if there's equity in the property, I want to cash back finance it all to myself so I can have some money to play with.
Sure.
Going in whatever direction I want. And I've had banks tell me no. They're like, you still need to have 20%. I owned houses. Like I owned houses that had like 50% equity in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to cash back refinance all the way up to where there's 20% left where you guys can have the other 20%. And they're like, no, we can't do that. You got to have 20% down. I said, I own the house. I'm like, I'm not putting another 20% down. They're like, well, that's just how our bank does it. And I'm like, so you're telling me that you guys don't look at equity as money? Like you guys don't value equity
I think
at
you
all.
need a new bank.
Well, yeah, I definitely need a new bank. And I have my one banker. She has been a rock star for me, and because of who she is. But like she worked for like 20 years, 25 years for one bank that was like not very bullish at all, very
Yeah.
conservative. Now they have pulls from straight, like they're, if you can get to sit down with them, you got to break it down for them real well. And you tell them, this is everything I got to do. You do all the legwork for them. They will do it. But like this other bank, it was at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm just going to start going to banks,
Yeah.
asking for money, see what I can get.
Yeah.
And that's when I was running in some banks that were just like, no, we can't do this or no. And I'm like, I was just trying to find banks. Like you said, you need to find a new bank. I was trying to find a new bank that was,
Sure.
I wanted to find some people in there that had the energy that I was coming in with. And so
that would
I-
advocate for you through the whole process.
Yeah, because I'm like, I need some investors. I need some backers.
Sure.
On some stuff. I'm like, I can't always keep coming up with cash. For
Yeah.
everything I have to do in life. It's too hard.
It's way too hard.
Yeah.
It takes
Impossible
time.
almost.
It takes time.
Yeah, it does.
And if you're anything like me, that patience is not my strong point.
No.
I want it like now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Because I'm a doer.
Yeah.
I'm a doer. So like whenever I come up with something or I want to do something, I jump on it.
Yeah.
And I also believe that good deals don't last.
Oh, correct.
And so I've learned that when opportunity comes up, you got to take it.
Yeah.
And it does.
You have to be ready.
You have to be ready
at all times to do it.
Yeah, and so that's where I got to the point where I was like trying to talk to banks to help me prep and things like that too.
Yeah.
So okay, so you were teaching for a while.
So I was teaching at East Central, and I was teaching small business management. So I own my store. I'm teaching small business management. So there I am giving
we
real
skipped over
world.
the store.
Oh yeah.
So let's not skip that because you went to school.
Yes.
Now you're all the way up to your master's degree.
Yes.
While you're in school, did you start this store?
No.
So did you get your bachelor's, take a break, and then get a master's?
No, like I graduated in May with my bachelor's, and in August I started my master's.
Oh, okay.
So, and during that time, I was doing property management for my parents.
Got it.
So I was cleaning, renting, because that was right when everything started going online as far as like rentals.com and things of that sort, those different websites. So my dad is like, I'm not doing computer stuff. I mean, he does minimal, but he's like, I'm not doing that. That's something you can do. Yeah, like that's something you can do. So I was doing that for them. And in order to get into the doctorate program that I knew I wanted to get into, you had to have 3 years management experience.
Oh, okay.
To get into the program.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I
I applied 3 times, actually. Finally got in.
Was it because of like the amount of people that could be in the class, or was it because of the management?
It was
3 years management?
it was because I didn't have enough management experience, and then it was because I was missing one class in my master's, and then the third time I finally got in.
So I didn't know that. That's an interesting requirement. So basically, they didn't want someone just to keep going to school, get a master's in business without actually having some experience. They wanted you to have some experience before you even...
Because it's once you get to the doctorate level, it's more of like a cohort type setting where everyone is bringing something to the table, discussion wise.
Gotcha.
So if you have these people that don't have any experience, it's not going to make for a very good class discussion.
Gotcha.
So.
So the masters, I'm just interested because I've done no schooling, and because I don't care, I just don't believe in schooling, and I realize that I'm wasting a lot of time here whenever I can just get out and do it. Mm-hmm. And so I actually, like, I've thought about going and taking classes, and I don't care about the college credit. I don't care about anything. I just want to learn.
Yeah.
And I think that sitting down in a situation like that, where I like structure. Mm-hmm. That's why I like reading books.
Sure.
I'm not good at learning from the internet because the structure is it's not a course based, and I just like the way school and books teach.
Yeah.
As far as like course wise, I don't like, it's weird because I don't like school.
Yeah.
But I do like the way they teach it. Like I think like a book breaks it down very, very well. And so I've always thought about like just going and taking a class to learn. But that master's MBA class, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. It was like 18 credit hours. So it was different. It was like 9 classes, I think.
To get your master's, how many credit hours was it?
I think it was 18. It may have been 27.
So from your bachelor's to your master's, that's all it was?
It wasn't much.
Oh,
it was
cool.
3 semesters, but I went full time. 3 semesters.
3 semesters at how many credit hours
I took,
a semester?
Yeah, it was 6. No, 12. 12 times 3, 36.
Okay, so
Sorry, Dad, if you're watching this. My math is...
math wasn't the strongest class.
My dad always says he's going to Webster to get his money back whenever I say stuff like that.
Well, dude, screw math, man. We have calculators nowadays. We don't need to learn it anymore. Now we got AI, chat.
Yeah, right,
That thing
right.
does everything for everyone.
Right, so it was 36 credit hours. So I was taking 2 classes every 8 weeks. 2 night classes every 8 weeks.
Cool. Well, that's not that bad at all then. But you can't get into it unless you have a bachelor's.
Yes.
Plus 3 years experience.
Yes.
See, that sucks because as someone that actually has interest in it, I don't care about the credit.
Yeah.
I don't care about getting my master's, but I would love to sit in with like-minded people and try to learn more.
Yeah.
But you can't do it.
No.
Ooh.
No. It's a system. It's definitely they got it figured out. You give them a lot of money and they...
Now, do you think that these master MBA classes and even like the bachelor's MBA, I would agree you are an entrepreneur, but do you think maybe it's creating CEOs out of the class rather than entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think there's a difference between a CEO and an entrepreneur.
100%.
An entrepreneur could be a CEO and a CEO could be an entrepreneur. It can go both ways, but there is some people that are a CEO that are 100% can never be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so you think
So
it's probably producing some high level CEOs out of these classes.
Probably.
I dream of having a high level CEO work with me one day.
It's really hard after all of my years of school and stuff I don't know. I mean, I have friends that have good jobs that went to school with me, but I mean, we were kind of just sold like a pipe dream, I feel like, to a certain extent.
What do you mean by that?
Like we were sold like if you go to school, you'll get these degrees and then these degrees will open doors for you that you won't have if you don't have these degrees.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of crap.
Yeah, it is crap. It is crap. But I think, like, whenever I think about, because I want to own a corporation one day. I don't know how much you've watched the podcast before or follow along, but I talk about it quite often. One thing I know is that I don't know a lot. And I know I'll need some, like, I'm never going to go to school to get my master's or doctorate in MBA. It just won't, it won't happen. I won't make it through the classes. I won't make it through anything. And I hope to be able to find someone that had the drive and determination to do that and have learned things that I haven't learned because that's like the Harrison Ford, right? Mm-hmm. That's like his method.
Yes.
Right? He just hires smarter people around him.
Yes.
I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I know that's what I'm going to have to do in life.
So it's interesting that you bring that up because when I was teaching the small business management class, I had all these students and I wanted to make sure that they were getting, we went through the textbook and did the tests and the reviews and whatnot. But every week at the beginning of class, I had a different business owner come in. So I had like my dad that was a sole proprietor. I had one of my dad's business partners who had an LLC. I had one of my friends that owns a bunch of Domino's come in, so he was a franchisee. I had all these different people come in and speak to my class. Mm-hmm. And then I realized at the end of the semester, only one of those people had a degree.
Yeah, right.
So my dad says, well, what is that? So it was interesting that, I wanted to show them, obviously don't drop out of school. It's something that can never be taken away from me. Mm-hmm. But you can also, that doesn't limit you from doing things in life.
Yeah.
So here's all these successful business owners that have not had degrees.
Yeah.
Some may have even dropped out of high school, got their GED, and here they are successful.
I know some very successful people that dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
I was thinking somebody that we both know thought maybe he did, but no, he didn't. I don't think so. Did he?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But no college.
No, because I think that was like a big reason, kind of how he ended up in Missouri, right? Mm-hmm. He was going to go to college, S&T.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, not him. Sorry if you're listening. And I
We're not talking about you.
We mistakenly thought that for a second. I totally agree. And I don't think that, I agree that going to college isn't a bad thing either because I actually, when it comes to that, I do look at someone like that as a high valued person. Because like there's things that you learn in school that I'll never learn.
Well, and it shows that you can start and finish something.
True.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it shows that you can start and finish something.
Yeah.
And as far as college goes, I wouldn't want a doctor operating on me that didn't go to college.
True.
So, I mean, there are, your specialized, your doctors, your engineers, your attorneys, like that. That's obviously school is necessary for that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying these like fine art degrees or business degrees,
Would you go back and do it again?
absolutely.
Cool.
For beyond the coursework. I mean, it was just an life experience.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. The homework is I don't know. I think actually the tests are the worst. I hated the test when it came to school because, like, to me, it was just like a memory thing. Mm-hmm. And I had a problem with the excess amount of homework, where it was just like an excess amount of homework. I get the homework where you have to do it because you have to like physically do it and learn it. But the excess amount, and then also the test that some classes, like you'd be there for how many weeks?
Yeah.
You're there for almost 6 months. Mm-hmm. And then you're testing, your final is you're testing on something you learned 6 months ago. And I just probably don't even remember it.
Yeah.
So
or you do for the test and then you just brain dump it.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times they give you like some type of thing to study.
Yeah. I always
what's
did.
Gonna be on the
That's
final.
what I always did for my students. I literally took the test and just removed all the multiple choice answers. So if you filled out the study guide and studied it, then you knew the test.
Yeah. See,
but
you test, man. Like, how can I remember that when I didn't go to college very long, but whenever I remember, basically, I could do good on every piece of homework all semester long, be getting an A in the class, and then if I fail my final, I fail the class.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Yeah.
How is that even a thing? Like, why is that possible? Like, and that's like things like that is where I had my problem. With school.
Yeah.
So moving away from school, where did your business come in?
Okay, so I graduated with my bachelor's, graduated with my master's.
Gotcha.
And then at this point, I have a master's degree, and I'm super unemployable because I have no experience, and it's 2010.
Yeah.
So at that point, I became
laying people off.
Right. Yeah. There's
not
no
looking
jobs
for anyone.
There's especially not a 23-year-old with a master's degree that
you're
thinks,
in about the worst position possible.
Well, and it was
super qualified.
Right.
Yet they're laying people off like.
And they're going, oh, she has a master's degree, she wants to make too much, and just like pitching my resume.
We can't afford.
Yeah, we can't afford her.
Yeah.
Even though I was applying at that time for like jobs that like the
You needed
AT&T
a job.
store.
Yeah,
like
you
I just
needed a
wanted to
job.
work.
Yeah.
I just wanted to work.
Yeah.
So after that, I got a job out of Dallas. I was a territory sales manager for the eastern 2/3 of Missouri. So I was on the road.
What were you doing?
I had 26 product lines. My main one was woodwick candles. The candles that like crackle when they burn because they have a wood wick. Yeah. So that was my main product line that I was selling to stores. So
was this a multi-level marketing?
No.
This was you.
This
you were
was
just a sales
manufacturer.
So you were
Manufacturer,
a
sales rep.
salesperson.
Yes.
For
So
manufacturer.
our office was out of Dallas. Our showroom was in Dallas. So I did that for about a year. Saw parts of the state that I'll probably never see again. Mm-hmm. And then they cut my territory. So there was like Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. So I've always been a networker. Always connecting with people.
Yeah.
And so
just like you did here.
Yeah. So
you found me.
yes.
And you're like, hey, we should do this.
Yes.
I'm like, let's
so
do it.
I've just always been like that.
Cool.
And so my aunt lived in Florida, and her neighbor worked out of the Atlanta Trade Mart. My aunt had said, hey, Angela, Jamie's looking for a job. She heard, anyway, next thing I know, I'm working out of Dallas.
Cool.
So honestly, I was thinking about it the other day. Everything that I've done in life has been because of some sort of networking.
Yeah.
So it's nice to kind of see it pay off eventually.
Yeah.
But so I did that for a year. Here I am, no job. My dad owned the plaza in St. Clair where the Dollar General was. This is when Dollar General went to the freestanding stores. Mm-hmm. They weren't in plazas anymore.
Yeah.
So they moved across the street. So we decided we're going to open a dollar store. Dollar-ish store, kind of like Dollar General. So we opened that in...
Even though there was a dollar store across the street?
Yes, so there's a Dollar General across the street. We were more of like a...
$1
It was called Dollar Plus. So it was more than a dollar stuff. So when we started out, we had a lot of dollar items.
Gotcha.
And then I quickly realized people would pay $1.49 or $2 for something that doesn't break.
So are you and your dad partnered in?
We partnered. Yes.
So because you guys own, you guys had the plaza.
We had the plaza. My dad had the plaza. Yes.
So you guys had an empty
Yes.
space.
Yes.
And at this time you're like, well, I
Yes.
can't get a job.
Yes.
Or no, you were working.
I had just lost my job.
Okay.
I had just
and you're
lost
like,
the, yes.
screw it. I'm going
Yes.
to do my own thing. I don't want to have
Yes.
to try to work for someone else
Yes.
anymore.
So we partnered because my dad was trying to find somebody that would manage it for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to own it. And he was looking for a manager. And he was having all these people come in and interview with him. And I would be sitting in the other office like,
Yeah.
do it, you know? So then it just came to the point where it's like, okay, like let's partner. So we were 50-50 partners in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So we opened, and I mean, that was my baby for a long, as soon as I opened my store, I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. So, I mean, it was like, all right, let's do all of this.
Yeah, you
The
got two babies.
Yes, let's figure it out. So, it was, raised my daughter in the store.
How long did you own the store? You say 12 years?
No, it was 10, almost 11.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did, but my dad and I traveled to Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, Vegas for trade shows. So we would go buy product. So I was still getting to travel, which is what I enjoyed doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting to shop.
Yeah.
So
when you went to, I'm very interested in that because right now I'm in the works of making a product. And I want to go to trade store. I want to go to these trade shows, and I want to get in, but I want to be selling the product.
yeah,
And hoping that people want to buy it.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, how do you find the trade shows?
So whenever we opened our store, we used a company that sets up different kinds of stores, party stores, dollar stores, whatever. So they gave us an initial list of, here are the vendors of the product we're putting in your store. They exhibit in Chicago. So we went to this show in Chicago. Well, then while we're in Chicago, we're meeting people and they're like, oh, you should come see us in Atlanta. You should come. I'd worked at the Dallas Trade Mart. So I'd already known about that one. So you should come see us in Vegas. You should come. So basically it just, like, we would go to these trade shows.
Are like, it's like a trade show that these vendors are coming to try to sell to these distributors to sell to stores like you.
Yes. Sell directly to stores like me. So I'm going around and I'm picking what products I want.
You were skipping the distributor.
Yes.
Gotcha. So
Yes.
it cuts out a little
Yes.
middleman cost.
Yes.
They ship it straight to you?
Yes. By truck. So
So it's like
Yeah.
you're just like you're buying direct wholesale from them.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
So we would always go to these shows with an open mind of, okay, what new product can we bring back this time? Or this time we're looking for this, this, and this. And then, you would kind of just walk and walk and walk and walk. And you would find, so, sometimes we would not find what we were looking for, but most of the time we did.
I mean, just walking by vendors, looking at it, seeing like, oh, that'd be cool to have in my store.
Yes. Cool. Yes. What's your minimum order? What's your, different.
I love it.
So I
That
started.
sounds so fun to me.
I started on the other side, selling to stores. And then now I'm the store and I'm buying from the people
Sure.
So it kind of set
You
me
were
up.
behind the booth at first.
Yes.
And then now you're the other way around.
Yes.
Did you like that a lot more?
I thought it was exhausting selling. And then I started buying and I was like, this is way more exhausting.
Because you're getting sold so much?
Because there are so many different, I'm going to one place and they might have this product for 72 cents. And then I'm like, oh, but I think back there it was only 68. So all of this is in your brain.
Yeah.
Just swirling.
Plus you got to factor in like, what are the shipping costs?
Yep.
Because there's minimum orders that you got to think about. Because one thing that I love, I just got some new energy drinks through Just Work. They're like a sister company of Axe and Sledge.
Okay.
I love their energy drinks, but the problem is that they started out $500 minimum order. Now it's $1,000 minimum order. And when it comes to energy drinks, you got to sell a lot of energy drinks. They have to buy them for $1,000
Wholesale.
Yeah, and so they're $2.50 a can, and it's just like there's not a huge market on them.
Sure.
But if I sell out of one flavor, I had to order $1,000 worth of product to get out of that freight cost.
Sure.
And that's where it's like, okay, it makes it very tough.
Sure.
Versus there's some companies that it's maybe a $250 minimum order. There's a company out of St. Louis that I buy a lot of product through that it's $100 minimum order.
Sure.
That's easy.
That's easy.
Easy. I could do that weekly. If I'm out, and I do. I like when one product sells.
Yeah.
like if this red prime, someone drinks it for some reason, everybody wants it that week.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
then
it's
it
what they
sells
see.
out. Yeah,
It's what they see.
And everyone's like wanting to try
Try
it.
this now.
Yeah, you never tried it.
I didn't try it.
If you don't like it, don't feel obligated to keep
Well,
drinking.
my face will tell you. It's probably fine.
You're not a faker.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it is.
It's really good.
And I mean, this is like no sponsored ad, no nothing like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big Logan Paul.
No, Prime, you should sponsor him.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Logan, if you ever somehow listen to this, I would take any type of sponsorship. But I just like it. I like Logan. I like him and his brother. I think they're hustlers. I like the fact that they hustled on YouTube, got really big, and then now Logan's kind of like, I'm tired of YouTube, and he's like, I think he's trying to grow up some.
Sure.
Trying to get out of YouTube, and now he's finding I think he found his passion and starting to find his passion in business. Seems like he's more and more growing to that atmosphere, and that's why I'm like, oh, cool. How cool that he's starting to make another path for himself in life.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
that's why I tried it. I liked it.
And it's only 25 calories.
Yeah, and 1 gram of sugar.
Heck. Yeah.
Total sugar, 1 gram.
This one has 2.
Oh, okay, well.
But that's okay.
Yeah, very low amount.
Very low.
Compared to like a
compared to
Gatorade?
my Starbucks.
yeah. But that's you're drinking that for caffeine.
Yes.
So, let's see. So you just got started
To have the store.
to the store. You did it for 10, 11 years.
Yep.
And then what? Because you said you had it for 10 or 11 years.
Yes.
So then what happened after that?
So during that time, during those years, I was also teaching at East Central. I've always been somebody that's had a lot going on. I've never just been doing one thing. So I also
you enjoy that? Sorry to cut you off again.
I don't know how to not.
I'm the same way. 'Cause I got the podcast, I got my gym, I got the rentals.
Yeah.
I'm making clips all the time.
Yeah.
It brings me fulfillment in life.
Yeah.
Like that's where I'm happy. And people are always like I hear a lot, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
How do you make all the time for that?
Yeah.
Do you ever sleep?
We all have the same 24 hours.
Yeah,
in a day.
and I'm like, well, I just don't really like to go home and watch TV in the afternoon like you.
I don't watch TV.
I hardly watch any TV.
Isn't that crazy?
Do you watch zero TV or just minimal?
So I have like a living room TV that hasn't been on. I can't even tell you the last time it was on.
Yeah.
I don't have a TV in my bedroom. So, I mean, I don't.
So how do you dewind at night then? Without a TV?
So I'm also like this close to 10,000 followers on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, here,
Yeah.
we're going to make it that much closer, actually. What's the name on TikTok?
It's Jaime, Jaime.
Jaime.
MIE.
Mie.
LEO.
I should know how to spell. Jamie.
LEO 2005.
Leo 2005. You know, that's not exactly the easiest name to find.
I know.
9,971 now. Hey, that's awesome.
I'm 29 away from. So,
Dude, if you guys are listening to this podcast and if you're not at 10,000 yet, you guys should all hop over on TikTok and get it to 10,000.
Thank you.
It'd be so
Thank
cool
you.
if this was a podcast.
yes, it put me over.
That pushed you over
Yes.
the limit.
Yes.
So make sure you guys go do
So
that.
that's what I do at night. So I either like edit my content
Mm-hmm.
or, brainstorm for what I'm going to do next content wise on
Mm-hmm.
TikTok. And so that's how and
You
then
are-
I just like go, when it's time for me to go to sleep, I go to sleep.
Cool.
So
I like that. I have to have something that because my brain just goes and goes.
yeah.
I just have to watch
Sure.
I watch a lot of just YouTube, silly stuff on YouTube, video games or something like
Sure,
that. Something
yeah.
that I can watch, but I don't
It's
have
like
to
mindless,
I don't have to be
kind of.
involved in.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now I'm trying to track back
Okay.
to where
So we're at the store. I'm teaching at East Central.
Yep.
So then I decide I'm going to run for office
Mm-hmm.
because that's something that I always wanted to do.
Cool.
So I was going to be president of the United States. I'm so glad I've grown up
Sure.
because
How old were you at this time?
I was 31.
Okay.
I was 31.
So
when I-
getting into office was like your first.
So that was my
Senator.
goal. I always wanted to be state rep. I wanted to be senator. I don't know why. I was always interested in politics. Like in college, I was involved in political organizations. I went to the rallies. I met a lot of cool people. That's what I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's run for office. So I'm running for county collector, Franklin County collector. And I had no idea what I was getting into.
To get in the office, is there a lot of, like, you have to work your way through a lot of...
No, you literally just go, file.
You can just skip to the front of the line if you want?
Yeah, I mean, you just go file, and then you're on the ballot. And then, like, once you file, then the real work begins.
Yeah.
So, and also interesting, I didn't have Facebook until then.
Okay.
Until, like, 5 years ago. Because I enjoyed, I mean, I did in college, and then I got rid of it. So they're like, you have to get Facebook back.
Right.
You have to have it for the campaign. Like,
You gotta
everybody's
have
on
it
Facebook.
nowadays, yeah.
So back to the dark side I go. So I've seen every corner of Franklin County. I've been to every chicken dinner, sausage dinner, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that for 8 months. That was my election was the August primary in 2018. So I'm thinking I'm going to get collector. This is going to be my way out of my store. Like,
Yes.
if I get this, we're gonna close my store. We're just gonna, change directions in life. The hardest I've ever worked in my entire life, like so hard. And then I lost by 213 votes.
And you said that is the closest ever in history in Franklin County?
Yeah, like 0.5%. Like, that's like historic, losing that close to like an incumbent. So it was just. It was hard at the time to see, but now I'm like, I'm so glad I did not win.
Yeah.
It's like...
Because your life would be totally different.
Well, in hindsight's 2020. I still go over there to the county. I'm on the Board of Equalization, and I walk past the collector's office and see those people screaming about their taxes. And I'm like, oh,
So glad.
they're not screaming at me.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not screaming at me.
Right.
So I did that. So then life goes on. It was odd, but life goes on. As soon as I lost the election, I find out I'm having my second kid.
Was it like how hard did you take it when you lost though? Was it like
it was bad.
because you said that was the hardest you ever worked in
It
your life.
was.
So you had to be very emotionally attached to it.
I was like weed-eating signs after dark with my headlights. Like, my dad helped me put up a lot of my signs. But I was putting out yard signs. I literally, just like everything though, I went all in.
Yeah.
There was no way to,
Is that what you do with everything you do?
Everything.
Just
Yes.
dive
Yes.
in
Yes.
head first.
Yes.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
If you guys are doing it any other way, that's why it's probably
You're
not
missing
working
out. You're missing out.
Yeah, well, that's probably why
Yeah.
it's not working out
Yeah.
fully either because they're just halfway in.
Yes.
So they're not getting fully
Yes.
engulfed in it. And it doesn't always work out, but
Yes.
most of the time it's not going to work out unless you just try
Yeah. Yeah.
absolute best.
Yeah. So I didn't even have really a backup plan at that point. I just, that was going to be it.
But you still had the store, right?
I had the store, yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I didn't have like if this doesn't work out, I'm going to do something else besides my store. Like, I just,
Yeah.
I would have bet big money that I wasn't going to lose. It was just, I'm one of those people.
Did you manifest it or was it just like a confidence thing?
Yeah. I manifest everything.
Really?
Everything in life.
I have turned my ways to that.
Yes.
Now, like if I want something, it comes to manifestation, and big part of it is saying it out loud.
Yes.
Because it's convincing myself
Yes.
too. I think that's part of the manifestation. You got to say it out loud and believe in it.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people that, Jake Paul being one of them, he writes down his affirmations.
Yep.
Like he writes it on his mirror and he says the same thing out loud. So like when he's boxing now, so when he preps for a fight,
Yeah.
he will stand in front of his mirror and say, I'm the best boxer ever. I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to knock this guy out
Yeah.
in the first round or whatever. That's how he manifests it.
Yeah.
And that's where I've really started, just trying to say it out loud and
Yeah.
bring it to fruition.
Where your mind goes, your energy flows.
Absolutely.
So it's just, yeah.
And I think that it just, maybe there's people that if you don't ever say it out loud and you're not manifesting it and you're not fully in it, then you might miss opportunities.
Yeah.
Where now, some people come up to me maybe with some ideas
Sure.
that ultimately might help push me in the direction I need to go in
Sure.
life. So
Yeah.
without saying it out loud and without manifesting it,
Yeah.
sometimes I think some of the haters or the non-believers or whatever you want to call them, they might try to turn it turn jokes into it or try to like bring you down because misery likes company. They don't want to see you chasing your dreams when they're not chasing theirs.
Yeah.
And so they were like, oh, I thought you were going to own a corporation or I thought you were going to run for office or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get those people out of your life.
Yes.
Because it doesn't always happen immediately.
Yes.
And yeah, you can't let, because everything you do in life, you got to go at your own pace.
Yeah.
And so it might take you 10 years to
There might
achieve
be
this
some
thing.
detours.
Yeah, you might get detoured off of it for a while. There's a gentleman that came on this podcast. You watch Logan West's podcast, right?
Yeah. He was hyping me up for this, by the way.
Oh, cool.
I was like, I'm so nervous. And he's like, you got this.
Cool.
You got this. It'll be fine.
Cool. Is that the one that got you on the,
Yes.
got you noticed?
Yeah, that's one I saw. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, he wants to be a pilot.
Yeah.
I fully believe this kid's going to be a pilot one day.
100%.
This man is going to be a pilot. Not a kid. He's not a kid. He's a man.
Yeah.
Young man.
Young man.
He's a young man.
Young man.
I fully believe it. But he's having to take a detour right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, he says he's going to be a pilot. I 100% believe him. But there's probably some haters out there that just don't want to see him be a pilot. And they're like, oh, I thought you were going to go to school to be a pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're laying concrete. Like, screw, if you're one of them people, screw you.
In
like,
small town makes it so much worse, I feel like.
Yeah, because those are the ones that they're pussies and they're never going to go anywhere.
Yes.
And they're the ones that just...
They're the ones that are watching TV when they get off work.
Yeah, exactly. And they're the misery likes company ones. And they're like, oh, he ain't going to do it.
Yes.
Freaking screw them people.
Yes.
Okay, so you run for office.
Yes.
You lose by 0.5%.
Yes.
Not even 1%. You
Yes.
lose by
Half.
0.5%.
Yes.
Less than 250
Yes.
votes.
Yes.
Devastating blow
Yes.
to your life.
Yes.
You say, screw it, I'm not doing that ever again? Or what?
Interesting
What
enough, I said at the time, I was like, I'm never, because it was honest. It was hell. It was like, and that was when I realized that if politics are this bad at the county level, then I cannot. I mean, I was tough, but I was watching my parents and my daughter at the time see me getting treated the way I was getting treated. My signs were getting cut. My car was getting blocked in. Like, it was harassment.
just dirty things.
Just dirty things.
Yeah.
Dirty things. And by the way, I beat that particular guy by a whole lot more than 0.5%. So
Cool.
karma.
Yeah.
But so I didn't want, I was like, I'm not subjecting myself to this again because my mom had one of my magnets on the side of her car. She was leaving a place and somebody was screaming at her. And I'm just like
How petty.
harass me, don't harass my parents.
Yeah, how
my daughter was like 5 or 6. She didn't even know what was going on. She just thought it was cool that she got to go to all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, what are they doing, Mom? And
Yeah.
it's like, I just really wanted to So I said I was never.
All with people.
I know. I said I was never going to do it again. And then a year later, the county auditor position, she had resigned in the middle of her term. So when somebody resigns in the middle of their term, the governor appoints the person for that position. So I apply for that. All my stuff, call in all my connections, don't get it. It's like, okay, got it.
Yeah. So so you're like, okay, a little bit of your dream was still there.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to go for it one more
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Still have the passion for
Yes.
it. It didn't happen.
Yes. It did
Now
not.
you're like, all right, I get
Yeah,
it.
I get it. It's
I take it
loud
aside.
and clear. I
Okay.
get it.
Sure.
So I said I would never do that again. And that,
How long ago was this?
this was 2019. This was right before COVID.
Oh, okay.
Right before COVID.
So it could still.
No.
You're done.
I'm done.
You're.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done with that dream.
Sure.
So we end up closing January of 2020.
Was it because of COVID?
It was not because of COVID, but if we hadn't closed before COVID, we definitely would have closed because of COVID. So basically, we opened in, 2011 and, prices were going up because a lot of the products we were getting were from China. So there was tariffs and their freight was going up, and that was when fuel was going up. So there was fuel surcharges, and then all of a sudden they wanted to charge 3% every time you used a credit card to pay for your stuff, and just costs were going up, which as a business owner I totally get.
Yeah.
But my customers did not.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know why prices were going up because they had been paying $1.19 for
Because
8
ultimately
years.
it falls on the business, right?
Correct.
It was dollar plus is what the
Yes.
store was called.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's freaking dollar plus.
Yeah.
Charge me this much now for this product.
Yeah, I mean, you paid $1.19 for 8 years, and it went to $1.49.
Yeah. And
what
people
the heck?
notice it.
What the
because,
heck? Yeah.
there's a lot of penny pitchers out there.
Yeah.
And so now it's not, oh, China is doing this or whatever's causing this. Gas prices are going up. So now.
Well, I mean, helium prices went up. We were huge. We did a ton of balloons. Helium prices tripled. And then on top of that, minimum wage
It goes up.
went way up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a fantastic assistant manager. I paid her very well. But everyone else was pretty much a minimum wage job. You know, they were in high school or in college. I worked around their schedule. You know, they worked when they could, but I mean, it was a minimum wage job or maybe even like a quarter above minimum wage. Well, then all of a sudden minimum wage is not $7 or $8 anymore. It's $12.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that adds up quick.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to, because at the end of the day, you'll go out of business
Yes.
if you don't adjust your prices for
Yes.
that adjustment. So you got to bump up your prices.
Yes.
And that's where I just don't know if everyone fully understands it.
They don't.
All they understand is that I need more money.
Yes.
But they're like, they're not understanding who actually controls the market.
Right.
You know, and like the businesses are not going to lose money because they're a business. Like,
Right.
they got to make money
Right.
to survive.
Right.
And so, that's one of those like very heated topics. But it's one of those things that I don't think you could ever teach certain people that because they won't pay attention to it.
They don't want to learn.
They don't want to learn. They don't want to pay
don't want to
attention to
learn.
it. They just know that if they don't have enough money, they just need to get more money. But it's not always like that. It
No.
doesn't always work out like that.
No.
Like,
Not at all.
Sometimes it's better to go the opposite direction.
Yes.
I've always said, and I don't want to discuss it, but I always said I think we need like a hard reset on all our taxes.
Yeah.
Just start over. And we could start it over and like have an immediate like reballot on everything just to like see what we think where our taxes need to be going to. And I know there's so many problems in it. That's why I'm like, we could talk forever on
We're
this.
not going to discuss.
but
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like we need something like that.
Yeah, something needs to happen.
Something like that. But
Yes.
not that I think it'll ever happen. Not that I think I've worked any of the kinks out of that or nothing.
Right.
But I'm sure there's lots of problems in it, but something needs to change for that.
It's way bigger than us.
So is that why you closed down your store, or was it
Yeah, I mean, it was
of things?
It was a combination of things, but it was also, I felt like I could do more, and my dad also felt like I could do more somewhere else, doing something else, because from day one of my store, I never gave myself a raise in that 10 years.
Yeah.
Because the money wasn't there.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, something's got to give. Something's got to give here. So, it was time. You know, I mean, everything kind of cycles, and it just felt like it was time.
So you closed the store.
Yes.
You didn't sell the store.
Closed.
Closed it. How do you go about closing it? Because you have all this inventory.
So we announced in January that we were closing, and then we ran like 50% off, and then 40% or 50% off, and then 75% off. And then like we eventually so we announced in January that we're closing. And then in March, we ended up closing for a month because that's when COVID hit. So we were closed for a month. And then it was like, you have to wear a mask, you have to do this and that. And then I think I made it until June. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with people.
Because you're
Or
trying-
somebody comes in and they're like, people I'd never seen before. And they're like, oh, this is such a cool store. And it's like, yeah, maybe if you'd shopped here when I was open, then maybe I wouldn't be closing.
Right.
You know, so
Yeah.
it was just like, I'm so tired of people. I can't do this anymore. So we just closed, like literally just locked the door. So then I also have a pretty big network on Facebook. So I would just post like, hey, I'm going to be up at the store today from 8 to 2 working on stuff if anybody wants to come shop. And I would just cut people deals. Like if they want, you know, I had a lot of crafters that I had a craft section, a scrapbook section, like a toy section. I sold like a lot of those discounted to like some organizations in town that did Christmas and, you know, just different stuff like that. I just tried to, you know, but I mean, I milked that for a long time. Like there was one point my dad was like, come on, get all of the stuff out of the unit so that I can rent it to someone else.
Sure.
So, I mean, I did.
But it's a lot to move.
It was.
It's a
I mean,
lot
we were
of-
7,500 square feet.
Yeah, that's a
So
big store.
it's huge.
That's a
It's
big
huge.
store. It'd be, I could see why it would take time.
And it was super, like, now I'm okay about it. But at the time, I was super sad because I felt like here I had just lost this campaign. It's like, okay. And then it's like, now I'm closing my store, which was my baby.
Yeah.
I'm in my hometown. People are, the haters are just waiting for me to fail.
I thought you were
it's
gonna do this forever.
Yeah.
Now
So,
what?
I mean, it was,
Should have got
it was
the 9 to
hard.
5 like I got.
Right. Yeah. It was hard. It was hard for a while.
Sure. So I could totally understand. Because that's your baby. That's it.
Yes.
You put your heart and soul into this thing, your blood, sweat, and tears into
Yes.
this thing. But when you were doing it, did you have an idea in head? Like, were you? No. You just knew that you're like, it's time.
Yeah.
It's time to move move on
Yes,
from
to
it.
figure something out. So at the time, 2017, my husband at the time and I bought a hydraulic shop in St. Louis. So we were also had a business in St. Louis.
Okay, so you still have some money coming in.
Yes. So we had the shop. So, and I mean, I'm pretty frugal. Like, I'm a couponer, shop at the Goodwill. I mean, I know the people that are going to be watching this are like, oh, that girl is not frugal. She is not. Yeah. So,
You can be frugal if you really want to be.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's not like you have to be frugal.
Yes.
But you enjoy to be frugal.
Yes.
at times.
So that I can buy the excessive things.
Sure.
So, so we had the shop and that was our income for that time.
Did you get another job? I mean,
No, I it was also because of the COVID thing, like it kind of, it was one of those things that kind of worked out. Like I didn't have childcare for my youngest because the daycares were closed. My daughter ended up like in the middle of March, like they just like closed school for the rest of the year. So I mean, it ended up in hindsight was like, that was perfect because I was able to take care of my kids and I didn't have to, scramble to find childcare. I was just able to just hang out with them at home. So I did that. And then, let's see, after that, I was still doing my doctorate stuff too, because I have to write, in order for me to get my doctorate, I have to write a dissertation, like a research paper. And so I was still working on that during that time as well. So I'm like, I'm just going to concentrate on school. Like that, I'm going to spend all my time on school. I did not spend all my time on school. That's why.
Sure.
That's why 3 years later, I'm still working on it.
yeah.
My dad asks
You've
me every
done
week.
a ton of schooling.
Yeah.
So it's probably also hard just to stay focused in it at this point.
Well, and then I had a lot of other things that were going on at the same time that it was just like, I think I'm going to reconvene whenever I can like focus. And so, I mean, it was hard during that time. I mean, it was like, I want to be doing something, but what can I do? It was a detour.
Sure.
So, I'm reading the Matthew McConaughey book right now, Green Lights. Have you read it?
Nope.
Okay.
A recommendation?
Yes, absolutely.
What's it about?
So basically, he talks about how in his whole life, these different things that he thought maybe were going to stop him, but then it was like green light. So like the story, my CrossFit coach, this is his favorite part of the book. So there was some football games. I don't remember the specifics of what the games were, but anyway, Matthew McConaughey was playing the bongos naked in his apartment. And they broke into his apartment and the cops, and they arrested him. And he was like, I didn't do anything. So they take him to jail. They tell him, hey, here's some clothes, man. And he was like, I don't need clothes. I'm innocent. I'm not going to stay in here. So by the time he got out of jail, there were shirts being made that said play bongos naked. He was making all kinds of money. So he's like, green light.
Matthew McConaughey was?
Yeah, green light.
When was this?
I don't know.
Before his acting career?
No, it was
During his acting career.
probably right at the beginning, I think.
Gotcha. Because he had to have some fans from somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So, I mean, it was, he was like, it was a green light. So,
Ariel, you should pop that up real quick. See when that was. What was it called?
yes. It
Play
was
Bongos
Play
Naked?
Bongos Naked. And it was like Texas, and I forgot the names of I'm also not a very good storyteller sometimes.
No, you're
when it
doing
comes
it great.
to details.
I'm the same way. I always
I'm like, I remember the highlights.
yeah.
I tell jokes the same way. And then I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot that part. That makes this joke make sense.
Yeah, 1999. Looks like
Okay.
Matthew McConaughey on his 1999 nude bongo arrest.
Yeah.
Holy crap! So I wonder when he started. When did? Nothing's popping up for you over there. Oh, did you find the shirt? In the book, do they show you the? Do they show you pictures of it?
So I think so, but I'm doing the. I downloaded the book, but then I'm right now I'm doing the audiobook.
Oh, sure.
Just
I do the
easier
same
for
thing.
me to.
Yeah, pick up when you're driving or
Yeah,
listen to
because
it.
then
at
it's in the
gym.
car, or while I'm at home cleaning the house, I can just have it blaring.
Yeah. I want to see. We just type in.
Oh, there's his mugshot. Right in the middle. Right
Oh
there.
wow! Can you blow that one up for us over there? Wow. That was Matthew McConaughey when he got
Yeah.
arrested. Then? That dude's always been a good-looking dude.
I mean, he has clothes on there, so
Yeah.
they must have gave him a shirt for the mugshot.
The dude's been acting since 1991.
Okay, so it was at the beginning, but not
Yeah,
when he
He's
was
8 years in. Still early, but yeah, 8 years in still. So yeah, it had some fans.
Yeah. So great book.
Yeah.
Great book. So
Okay.
a lot of these things.
Is it a big book?
I think it's like 6 hours audiobook. So I'm gonna say not. I feel like I've listened to ones that are a lot longer.
Yeah.
And the way it's broke up, and the audiobook is read by him, and he is hilarious.
Cool.
I mean, he is really funny. So it's really easy.
That's
listening.
my problem with audiobooks a lot of time is the person that's actually
Yes.
reading the book.
Yes.
There's the How to Win Friends and Influence People book. Have you read that?
I have not read that.
Cool book.
I believe I have that at home. On it's queued up to read.
Cool.
It's in the stash.
You're a very good communicator. So I don't know, like you'll definitely probably maybe take some stuff out of it. I think any book you read, you can probably take something
Sure.
out of. But it's definitely a great communication book. I don't even know where I'm going with the story now. What the hell were we just talking about? I just lost my train of thought.
Matthew McConaughey audiobook, people reading it.
Oh, that book. The audiobook on that is the guy that's reading it, at least the version I have, trash.
Oh, it's like
So,
monotone.
yes.
It's like Paul Harvey.
Yes, it's so boring. It's so hard to just follow along with. Some of them, great. I'm sure the
I
ones.
was gonna say the Matthew McConaughey one. It's literally him reading it, and he is hilarious. Like I'm laughing. My kid's like, "What are you laughing at?" I'm like, "This book is so funny." Like he's funny.
Cool.
a funny guy.
Have you ever heard of Michael Michaelowitz? This one back here. Oh, if I can reach. Pumpkin Plan. That's like one of my favorite business books I've read so far. It's actually the second one, but yeah, that guy, he has a lot of like YouTube videos where he teaches stuff. And I've never listened to audiobook, but I imagine if he read the audiobook, it'd be
It would
very
be good.
entertaining. Yeah, because he has like some hour-long segments on YouTube that is phenomenal. Very easy to follow along with. At first, you're like, this dude is freaking goofy. But then you learn, like, it's very entertaining to be able to listen to and follow along with. And he's very good at
Yeah, it looks interesting.
explaining everything. That book right there has helped me out a lot in business. It's taught me a lot. Like early days, like
Sure.
I read that before I even went into my business, and I was so grateful that I read it. And I haven't even finished it.
What?
I never
I do that. That's
I
kind of
never
how I
finish a
am
book.
too.
I'm
Or
so
I
bad
skim, and then I'm like, I feel like I miss a lot of it.
Well, yeah, I'm getting ready to. I'm going to start doing a new content, like a new YouTube channel where I'm going to start. I think it's going to help me read a book, but I'm going to read a chapter, and then I'm going to try to break it down into a summary for people
Like
like
a
me.
Cliff Notes version for
Yeah,
somebody
Cliff
that doesn't
Notes.
want to read it.
And I want to try to get people that have read the book before, and I want to try to get like a new perspective versus old perspective. I want to talk about like how they interpreted, how I interpreted, and I just think it'd be fun for me because I think it'll help me learn the books better. I think it'll help encourage me to read the chapters better, and I think
and maybe retain a little bit more of that information.
Yep, and I think there'd be people that are like me that. Like this How to Win Friends and Influence People, I've tried so many times to listen to it. It's just so boring.
Yeah.
I can't even follow along with it. But maybe if there is somebody that, and I'm sure there is a YouTube channel out there like it, where they have something very similar.
Sure.
But yeah, I think there would be someone that maybe just wants to follow along and they can kind of take what the book's trying to give, but in not such a slow, monotone,
Sure.
boring
Sure.
version of it. So that's a big part for me.
Well, while we're talking about books,
Okay.
I have to comment. So I see Rich Dad Poor Dad. Over
Yeah.
there. Have you read all of them?
All of his books?
Yeah.
No, I haven't
So
read.
there's
Dude,
Rich
he has
Dad-
so many.
Okay, he does.
Yeah.
So I have.
You read all his books.
Ask me why I've read all of them.
Well, okay. Okay, why you read them all?
Okay, so whenever
This is my favorite one right here. Cash Flow Quadrant.
so
far.
whenever I was 16,
Uh-huh.
I wasn't a very good driver. I also still not a very good driver, but when I was 16, it was worse. And so I had wrecked my car 3 times in a very short period of time. And I had no money to fix my taillight.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad says, I will pay for your taillight, but you have to pay me back in books. So for every book I read, I think it was like $5. So I had to read Richest Man in Babylon, all the Rich Dad Poor Dad books, all these books to pay him back.
Now, were these books on his recommendation?
Oh yeah, these are all on
Dude,
his.
I want to meet your dad sometime because he
Okay.
sounds like an awesome man. Because one thing I've learned from these books, and Robert Kiyosaki is like, I think when it comes to financial education, I think he's the guy you need to follow along with, in my opinion. Now, that's just an opinion. There's
Sure.
tons of gurus out there.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites. He talked about the process, the importance of passing on education, financial education, on why their kids need to learn it, why it needs it's more than just teaching them how to make money, but you
Yeah.
also got to teach them why it's important to make the money, and it's more than just money, right? It's a
Yeah.
tool that's going to help
Yeah.
you in life, so you can pursue whatever dream you want to do.
Yes.
That's something that was really important that I took away from the book. That was like, not because I feel like I am starting from ground zero, starting day one, but I want to start this legacy.
Sure.
And I want to make sure that whenever I learn this stuff, I want to be able to pass it on to my kids.
Sure.
And teach them too. So that's
Sure.
something, and I love that your
Yeah.
dad's doing that.
Yeah, so I mean, all of his entire bookshelf is those types of books.
Yeah. I'm starting my little bookshelf back there.
Nice.
Like any book, any recommendation I get from someone, I buy it.
Oh, I have read that book. I've just read that version.
Which one? Power?
This one, but it's
okay.
that paperback one.
Oh, okay.
That's the one I have.
Sure. If I really like a book, I buy hardback so I can have it for a long time.
Millionaire Next Door. I've read that.
Yeah. Did you like that one?
I read that when I read those like 27 other books, but
Okay.
I didn't read it again.
Sure.
So some of them, like Rich Dad Poor Dad, I've read a couple times.
Yeah.
Richest Man in Babylon, I've read a couple times.
What's your favorite book then? I want a recommendation.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Really?
Yes.
Richest Man, and that's
Napoleon
a good
Hill.
one too. It's short, it's sweet,
Yes.
but it's got a good point.
Easy
too.
reading. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that.
Yeah.
I don't sometimes when I'm reading these books, How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah.
There is a lot of where they examples.
Yeah.
It's good,
Yes.
but also like sometimes I'll be reading an example and it'll be talking about, and it does great because someone might relate to one example better than the next. And I started realizing it after chapter after chapter after chapter that they used a lot of history as examples, and I'm not big into history. I don't
Yeah.
know history super well.
Yeah.
I should. I'm
Yeah.
getting into it more.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to relate with it and understand it. So a lot of times I just skip it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's just
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
I get the point of it now.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
they have plenty of other examples. So I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Yes. Yes.
So Richest Man in Babylon's the
Yeah.
biggest one. Cool.
Yeah.
Anyone that's a good one.
yes.
Someone wants to get started. That
That was like the first one I read, and then I've read it several times since then.
yeah. The big takeaway with that is they talk about, well, I haven't finished it either, but which is crazy because it's such a short book. But I remember one big takeaway from it was pay yourself first,
Yep.
save 10%. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Do you follow along with that?
No.
No, not all the time.
No. No.
Do you think you should?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because
Yeah.
that's something I've started like tinkering with both of them, like making sure that I get paid first.
Yeah.
But I also have a problem with paying myself first because I'm a big like reinvestor in the stuff.
That's the yeah.
And so it's like I am paying myself, but it's through investments.
Yes.
Right? Like
Yes.
if I got like this podcast, if I got all the money back from the microphones, and
Right.
the equipment, everything
Yeah.
like that, I would have a lot of money back too. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It would just be sitting there, and I don't
Right.
screw. I have no
Right.
reason to have it just sit there.
Right.
I need to put it into something. Yeah.
Something. Yes.
It's a cool book.
yes.
So now after all this, are you into anything right now?
So, book wise?
No,
Or like-
I'm talking like career in your life.
So
Like, where are you at right now?
basically, so we closed the store, and I've always been, like I said, I've always been doing stuff. So when I was in college, I used to go to TJ Maxx and buy stuff and resell it on eBay. Like that. I mean, that was when eBay was like brand
Popular.
new.
Yeah.
Like brand new.
eBay's kind of dying.
It is because there's
Amazon
Mercari and Poshmark and Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
So
But screw Facebook Marketplace.
So-
I cannot stand that thing. My goodness. After Craigslist shut down, I tried Marketplace for a while. And actually, it's a good thing that Craigslist did shut down because Facebook made it too easy. And I didn't need to be doing that anyway. Because like it's just not enough money when I was trying to scale.
yeah.
And so I started to realize, I'm like, dude, you got to get away from that, man, because you're
So-
wasting a lot of time on it.
So that's my other issue. So one of the things that we opened a car wash. My family opened a car wash. Bulldog car and pet wash.
Is this in St. Clair?
It's in St. Clair,
St. Clair,
right
okay.
on the main drag. So we opened that in December of 21.
And this car wash, is it the full service one? Or
So
is
it's the actual bays. So it's 2 automatics, 4 self-serve bays, but we do have one that's a little bit taller for like campers and dump trucks and such. And then we have, so we have 4 vacuums, and then we also have 2 pet washes. So I do all the social media for that.
Are you guys interested in more?
Yeah.
I actually have, and you would have to do the negotiating on it.
Yeah.
But I got the numbers on it.
Yeah.
And I think I got 5. I got a guy that's willing to sell me 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah. I mean, we are always looking for.
His numbers are off though.
Yeah.
His numbers are off though.
Well, typically, so we've looked at a couple other ones, and typically the numbers are off because there's so much cash.
Yeah.
And the people didn't necessarily want to report that.
Yeah.
So then they're like, I don't really have financials. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, I get it, but how do you expect to sell a business without financials? Like,
He did, and that's where a lot of this comes into play. One of them, he doesn't have any, like he said he has numbers for all of them except for the one.
yeah.
Because the one's been paid off for so long and it was his first one.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't keep any numbers on it. And then I guess it's like, is it like, he said that like he follows a lot of these car wash guru guys, and the way they're pricing them is they take what they make in a year and times it by 4 or
Certain
something
amount,
like that.
yeah.
But he was taking the gross number,
Yeah.
right? Gross is before
Yeah.
product, or
Gross is before.
he was taking the number that the business was making with all the product and everything. So he didn't
take out the expenses.
he didn't take out any expenses. And so, the business might show that it made $100K, but he didn't take out the fact that it cost him $50,000
Right.
in water and
Sure.
soap.
Sure.
So he's using that $100K and then he's 4Xing it to 400,000.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it's not the
how
way
it
to do it.
works.
Yeah, because you got to put your expenses in.
Yeah.
Because if you're only making $10,000,
Right.
I need to know that.
Right.
So that's what he was giving me. I guess that's gross, right? That's after. Dude, I don't know why I have so many
Yes,
problems. That right
yes.
there, for some reason, I always
Gross
get those
is
mixed up.
first, and that's after. Yes.
So he was just basing it off the gross, and I'm like, well, and I was just kind of interested in it because I was trying to get some more investments that were cash flow a little
Sure.
better, because I need to get, like how your dad has some
Yes.
guys working for him
Yes.
through construction. I need a full-time maintenance guy.
Yeah.
And I just don't have enough business right now to pay someone full-time.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe I could get a car wash that would cash flow
Sure.
some money, but
They could caretake that maybe.
yeah, caretake
Well,
that. Plus, I could get them
sure.
to, like, maybe put them on salary.
Sure.
And be like, I'll pay you salary for this, and then I'll have them do some other stuff. And I'm like, maybe I could just. I really don't need the cash flow off
Sure.
of it. I'm cash flowing just fine right now, so I could just
Yeah.
take, as long as I make 10%. Like
Sure.
literally, remember back to Richest Man in Babylon,
Yeah.
and said, pay myself 10%.
Yeah.
The rest I'll pay to this guy.
Yeah.
That's how I thought on it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if I can pay this guy, if it makes 60,000 a year, I can take
Sure.
10. He could have 50,000
Sure.
and move on with it. It just didn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, I'm not really sure if I want to get into it. But if you guys are already
Seems
into
like,
it.
Yeah, it seems like people that own car washes are really, like, just, and the couple that we've looked at are really proud of what they got. Like, it's like, you want what?
Yeah.
Like, this
that's
building
not
is like 30 years old and
Yes.
all of this stuff is going to have to be replaced. So I'm basically just buying a location.
Yes.
Like, what do you know, like a building or a lot.
Yeah.
So, and because I mean, ours is like state of the art, I would say new. So like our automatics have IQ technology. So like if you go through in a Ford Focus, like you pull in and it scans your vehicle. So it's going to wash a Ford Focus different than it's going to wash a Jeep Wrangler
Gotcha.
or even a Ford truck.
Yeah.
And so it can also accommodate up to a crew cab, long bed, dually
Wow.
automatics.
Yeah,
so
you can't do that very
you
many
can't.
places.
So like, I mean, we haven't had some of the guys go through with like their salt spreaders on, and it just, you know, it scans
cool.
it. It scans it, and so it pops up the image. So we saw a need in our community because there weren't any good car washes. My mom is very particular with her vehicle.
Yeah.
So she was driving far away to have to get her vehicle washed. So we saw a need and then brought it into the community.
Yeah.
And we named it Bulldog because we are, I mean, my whole family is born and raised in the area and we give back. So we support all of the local school stuff.
Yeah, that's the local mascot.
Yeah.
I think,
Bulldog.
well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. That's a good way
Yeah.
to do it. Stay part of the community.
Yeah.
There was a donut shop. Donut shops were.
Yeah.
Donut shop.
Bulldog Donuts, Wildcat Donuts.
Yeah. Are they still in business?
No, they sold out to, I mean, they're still in business, but they sold out to Master Donuts.
Okay.
Which is like, I think from Cuba all the way to, they're all Master Donuts now.
Oh.
So like Cuba, Bourbon, Sullivan, St. Clair Union, like I think there's one in Owensville too.
Nope. We don't have a
That one
donut
closed?
shop.
That one closed?
Yeah. I remember when it was for sale because I looked, that was my first business I looked at buying. I was like, I could buy a donut shop, and I backed out of it because I realized you got to get up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, to make donuts.
to make donuts that day.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I'm not going to always be able to do it. I know I'm not always going to want to do it.
And people are not reliable at 2 a.m.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to get someone up at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
to make donuts
Yeah.
unless you can pay them pretty good.
Right.
So I'm like, I remember just walking away at that point. But I do remember it was for sale.
Yeah.
I remember when they sold
Okay.
out. And I remember she said, the lady that owned it said that she got up. Was she from Washington?
No, I think, was it like Dutchman Donuts or something?
Yeah.
Okay. No, they were from, I'm pretty sure they were from St. Clair Sullivan.
Yeah, maybe. But wherever they got up, they owned the one in Union too.
Yeah, Union,
like their main
Owensville, yes.
So they got up, made the donuts in Union,
Yes,
and then drove to Owensville.
yes.
Screw that.
And they had like a route too, I think. They were, yeah.
Because they just filled a van up with donuts
Yes.
and then take them to the next
Yes.
location instead of having to go to every location and make fresh donuts.
Right.
I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't get into it.
Right.
I love a good donut.
One of
in the
those
morning.
things. Yeah, one of those things that, yeah.
Owensville does need a better call. All our surrounding communities need a better car wash. And if you guys are interested, seriously, reach out to me. I got the
Okay.
guy's phone
Yeah,
number.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got the numbers on it all and
We
everything.
would love to expand. My mom does not want to expand, but
She's
it's like-
probably, is she getting to the age where she's just ready to
no,
retire?
she just, the car wash takes a lot of time
Yeah.
because when we do things, we do it right. So we're up there like 3 times a day, emptying trash or picking up trash or checking things because people tend to, steal.
Disrespect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like our walls are vinyl and then they were poured with concrete. So it's not like the old like block walls like most car washes. So, I mean, it's really nice.
The walls are vinyl?
Yeah.
How's that? Like the inside
So they're
walls
like
are all vinyl?
They're like vinyl like planks that were all put together and then they poured the concrete into them.
Interesting.
So like formed. It was basically like concrete forms that were vinyl and then that formed the wall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how long, when you guys build it new?
Yeah.
When, in 2021?
We opened December 2021.
Wow, in the wintertime too.
Yeah. So we actually thought by opening in the winter that we could just kind of like ease into car wash season.
Yeah.
And then we found out that winter is actually like the busiest time for car washes because of the salt and all the stuff on the roads.
Yeah. People
So
always
it was
want their
like,
cars clean.
let's do this.
Can you go to your guys' automatic in the winter?
Oh yeah. Ours are open. We're 24/7, 365. It's just we have doors that shut if it's below 40.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got to have that.
Yeah.
So I've seen some of them where they're just closed and you can't go in.
Yeah, no,
They
no,
have a
no.
garage door and they're like,
Nope.
you can't come in.
And a lot of people wash their vehicles between midnight and 3 a.m. I never would have guessed.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, as someone who's working that night shift or something, I could understand why they need to get off and
Or
do
on the weekends, they're washing their razors or their boats or, stuff like that. So,
4 a.m.,
yeah,
3 a.m.
yeah.
They've been riding.
I guess I rode all night. Yeah.
And then they're coming
Muddy. Yeah.
wash them off.
Sure.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Because they're like something like that. When anyone that's off roading, because I was like when I was younger, 16, 18, I was into like, all off roading trucks and stuff. When you get all that mud and stuff on there, you want to get it off before it dries.
Right. Right.
It's wet. It is
Yes.
just stuck on there.
Yes.
I used to drive it through my truck through the river. Oh. Like I would just go through a slab and I would
Yeah.
go really fast
You're
through
like
it.
Bahaing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. But I would just go and just like Baja it back and forth because all that mud underneath your truck is so hard to get out. And like I always worked on my own vehicles, so you'd be sitting under it, working on it as mud clumps are just falling on you. So it was either that or I had to, because a car wash you can't get underneath it.
Right.
Even if you're sitting there spraying it, it's like spraying all over you.
Yeah.
So another thing was like we would stick a sprinkler underneath underneath your truck, and you would just leave it run all night, and it would just like take the bottom of your vehicle. So you come out and the next day it's just clumped up.
That's funny.
I'm sure that's something that's like I don't know if I want to clean up the mud from everybody because they just want to just go there and dump
the other
everything.
car wash in town that we've had, they've always had traditionally like this giant sign that says no mud trucks. Mm-hmm. And we were like, bring it all, bring your mud, bring your mulch. So, I mean, we do have all of it, but we just get our pits pumped out more often, like where it all runs down.
Do you have a company
That comes in, yeah. It's like a septic
Oh, okay. They come in
septic
and do
type
it?
company that comes in and pumps it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what about they do like the scooping of the stuff too?
They just use like a vac hose.
Just
Like
suck
just
all the mud
suck
and
all
crap
the
out?
stuff out. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, mud and all of the other things that go down that drain.
Yeah. I bet that's an expensive cost though.
I'm not sure. I can
Just part
I
of
can
it.
assure you that if they're the cheapest around, if we're using them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's part of business too, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that own cars should try to do it themselves.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I don't even go down there that day.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Do you know who Ross Blankenship is?
I've heard the name.
So he came on the podcast. He was the one before Logan.
Okay.
And he was telling me he's in like the heavy equipment. He actually works for Dirtworks, so he builds like the track for Supercross and stuff.
Yes.
But like his family all does like heavy equipment stuff, moving dirt. And the guy that just bought the local gas station here, there's a car wash on it. And he was talking about how he had to clean the pit out, and he used like a mini excavator to clean it out. And yeah, they get gross.
Oh, it's so bad.
They get so gross.
Like we don't like.
Especially out in the country, because you get farmers that get crap and all kinds of stuff up.
Oh, people washing out their horse trailers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about.
Oh,
horse
yeah.
trailer, but
Uh-huh. Yeah.
hay and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that what you're doing right now?
So that's my main gig is is working with the family business.
Yeah.
So we have the car wash. My dad's building new houses. He just finished 2. So I clean all of those houses when they're done. But I also, it's kind of a joke. Like I do whatever needs to be done. So I might be doing concrete on Wednesday. And then like the next day I'm running to pick up car wash chemicals. Or yesterday I literally stopped by the office for 10 minutes to grab something from my mom, and my dad was like, hey, the secretary's off. Can you type up a bid? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever needs to be done.
Is that where you want to be at? Or
I enjoy that because whenever I had my store, I got to spend a lot of time with my dad traveling. And so whenever my store closed, I was like, oh man, this stinks. I'm super close to my parents. They live 3 miles down the road. So I see them every day. And I'm like, oh, well then it's just another chance for all of us to work together. My brother works for my dad as well. So like we all get to,
You like being around your family.
I do.
Very family oriented.
I do.
Very close to your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you can do that. I agree. I wish I could. Like that was my dad when you came in today.
Oh,
that was
okay.
My dad outside, cutting my trees down and
Nice.
stuff like that. And so like my dad enjoys doing that.
Yeah.
And I always look for ways to try to make sure, especially as you get older and busier.
Yeah.
A lot of people start to get separated from their family, and like those kind of people aren't gonna be around forever.
Yeah.
And my parents are like my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I'm like, man, And the older I get, the more I realize like I need to keep these guys around me because they're not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
So I've started
Yeah.
doing that same thing. Totally
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah. So that's my main gig. But then I also work at a golf course. I work. That's my second main gig. So I work there during the daytime. I worked at the golf course by my parents' house for like 15 years. It was right down the road.
Like growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. So like from when I was 20 to recently, I still will go out there and run the beverage cart if somebody requests me. But so I started working at the country club, not Sullivan, but Franklin County. And so I work there during the day while my kids are in school. And it works out perfect because then I don't have to find childcare. And I like socializing with people. So, I mean, I'm like bartending and serving. So I'm talking to people all day long.
I enjoy the same thing. And I always said I think it'd be cool to be a bartender.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've talked about owning a bar. I wouldn't do it just because I don't want the late nights and the weekends and
the people.
And the fighting and throwing up and the drunks.
Yeah. Yes.
But at a country club, it's totally different.
It is different. And I was, like I was talking to one of the guys a couple weeks ago because he was like, what's your story? Where are you from? And I was kind of telling him and he's like, well, there's no better place to network than a country club. And I'm like,
Right.
You are correct.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Right. Because it's a lot of business owners. It's a lot of like.
It's a lot of business owners, attorneys, different people. Like they know lots of people.
Yeah.
So it's just like my network just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
So I do that. And then every other weekend when I don't have my kids, I work at Brewski's in O'Fallon as a server. And that's the owner of Brewski's. Known him for 15, 16 years now. I went there in college. And then he was looking for help. And I was like, I'd really like to stay busy on weekends. I don't have my kids.
Yeah.
So he hired me, and it's really, really good money.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it.
You really do like to stay busy, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
do.
Some people say they like to stay busy, but they're not that busy.
Right.
But yeah, you certainly stayed busy.
Yeah. So then you were talking about multi-level marketing. I sell Scentsy,
Okay.
the wax bars and the warmers and stuff. So that I do that, and everything that I do is kind of integrated together. So I do that, and then my favorite thing that I do is, so I started when I was going through like my divorce stuff, I started selling things out of my house, like my kids' old clothes and just like stuff, because I got a lot of stuff in my house, right?
Like Flip Life?
Yes.
Do you watch Gary Vee?
Yes.
He talks about Flip Life
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. Similar to that?
Yes.
The kind of what
So I started selling just stuff, right? And I kind of created this cult following on Facebook. So I have my people. And so after a while, I was like, we're going to call this a keynote because my name.
Okay.
So I have like closet keynotes or basement keynotes.
Oh, okay. I see.
So I was doing those like once or twice a week. Well, then I was like, okay, I really like this. This is fun for me. So I kind of set up like a workshop in my basement. And then I had some friends that were like, hey, do you want to sell my stuff? And I'm like, sure, 50-50 profit. So then like when I had friends bringing me stuff, and it was nice because it was more than my size and my kids' sizes. It was like it was men's. It was a variety of different styles and different things. Well, now I like legit have this following. And so I was running out of stuff. So, I mean, people are bringing like truckloads of stuff over to my house for me to sell. I have Google Sheets for each person. I write down and then, cash out to them or whatever. But then my friend and I kind of got addicted to going to the Goodwill bins up in Bridgeton. So on my day off, whatever day of the week that ends up being, we go up there and like I get stuff for my dad. My dad says, please quit buying me crap.
Yeah.
But I get stuff for my dad or my brother or my mom or my kids. And then if they don't like it, I just throw it in the clean out.
Sure.
And then it's just...
Resell it.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out, when we were talking about scale earlier, I'm trying to figure out how to do that, but on a larger scale.
Yeah.
So right now I'm doing that locally because people are picking up stuff off my porch. Or I'm like, if it's somebody in Sullivan, I drop it off when I go to CrossFit. Or my daughter goes to school in Union, so I drop stuff off there. But most of the time, it's all local. I'm not shipping anything. So I'm trying to figure out how to either eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, Marketplace. It's just that I have so much stuff that it seems slightly overwhelming to get started.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I put on there first? And how much of a description do I need? It's a ton of inventory. So, I mean, it's sorted in my basement. I have it sorted into different totes and, I hang it to take pictures of it. But I mean, that's I really, really like doing that.
Yeah. That's cool. I even watching Gary Vee, I follow along with, I'm like, ooh, I kind of want to go do some stuff, try to do some flip life. I actually bought like a box of sensors, like O2 oxygen sensors. There was a local, what are they called? Car parts store, whatever the auto parts store is what I'm trying to get at. And they were selling out, and there was brand new sensors, and I bought 100 of them.
Nice.
And there was he basically, I think, I can't remember how much I paid a piece for them, $10 a piece or something for them. And then, but there were some of them that were like $160. And so I was going to try to do that same thing. And then that's the problem with it, is that there's a lot of take the time, take a picture of it, list it. Because I was going to try to flip them on eBay. And now they've been sitting for 6 months because I got really, really busy. Yeah. I was at a lull, so I had some extra time. And then I got really busy again, so now they've been sitting. Sure. And now I'm like, I really need to get back to that and get those things moved somehow. And I've thought about just selling it as like a package, see if somebody else that was interested in doing it. But yeah, I mean, growing up, I definitely did the flip life thing. I flipped headlights. I worked in a body shop, and I was gluing, if a tab broke off a headlight, I would glue the tab back on with panel bond, and then I would list it on eBay. Because some of them, like a new Ford Mustang headlight, has like a module in it that makes it like almost $1,000.
Oh wow!
New. Yeah, crazy expensive.
Yes.
So I was just buying them or I was getting them for free and reselling them on eBay.
Sure.
And guys that were like trying to fix up their car or something, I was giving them a crazy good deal. Yeah. I was making like $150 a headlight. Yep. All cash. Yep. And it was nice for a young boy trying to get started and make some extra money on the side. I really like it. And I always, like anyone getting started out, I'm like, yeah, that's a great way to make some money on the side as long as you're willing to hustle. Yeah. And that's, But I totally understand the inventory thing. And
so I do that, and it's exciting. I'll call my dad. I'll be like, hey, I sold. And he's like, figure out a way to scale it. So my way of scaling it, this is what I'm manifesting right now, is so I'm doing this and I'm selling it locally. And like the more people I sell to, the more they're telling their friends and they're tagging their friends. And then, so what I do is I wake up in the morning and I put, today's a great day for keynote. And then I put kind of what I'm going to have that day. Like yesterday, it was baby stuff. So it was like lots of baby stuff and then a few other surprises. Well, I do that first thing in the morning, and then my people, start following, or let's see what you got, or I'm looking for size 9 shoes, and they start. So then by the time I go to post, I already have all these people that are watching, or they're tagging their friends. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, she's selling today, So, but the way I would like to scale it is I would like to be able to come up with some sort of online workshop, or, downloadable guide of how to start on your own.
Oh, okay.
So
what about TikTok? Why haven't you started?
Well, so yes.
Because you said you're doing something on TikTok.
Yes.
You got 10,000 followers somehow.
Yes. So I want to be able to do this, like how to start your own online resale or thrift and flip, and sell it for like $7 or something. Something that's like, skip your coffee today and grab this guide. Yeah. And then, you may or may not decide that it's something you want to do but it gives you an idea, and that's something that I can large scale sell. Yeah. So and then once I get to 10,000 followers on TikTok, then I can start getting paid for content creator.
Oh, that's what it is on TikTok?
So that's my goal. So I already get paid when I do my TikTok lives, and not very much though. I think I've made like sometimes I make like 17 cents on a live.
Yeah.
But I'm still making money.
Yeah.
So I like to
Start.
I like to tell my dad, like, hey, you said I was never going to make money on TikTok. I made 17 cents today.
If you can break away on social media, there is insane money there.
Yes.
There's a reason why these 17-year-olds are
Yes.
buying mansions and Lamborghinis
Yes.
and all these other things. Not saying
Yes.
that's why you need to do it.
Right.
But the money's there to take wherever you want.
Sure.
I push YouTube
Yes.
because I've always heard YouTube is like the one that pays out the best.
Sure.
It's the best platform. They work with you the best. But now it's very prevalent that TikTok is a great way to get a following.
Yes.
And then you want to bring them over to something like
Yes.
that.
So-
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
real quick.
that's okay.
I heard Snapchat is one that's really starting to pick up. I heard
Snapchat's so cringy.
I hate Snapchat. Hate it. But I heard, like, if you start paying attention now, there's a lot of big YouTubers. David Dobrik, do you know who he is?
They're doing like the subscriptions on
They're
Snapchat.
doing the subscriptions, and I started paying more attention to it. And I'm starting to listen to more people about it, and you're starting to realize like a lot of these big YouTubers are starting to do it, and they'll have 30 pictures in a day, and the last picture is the one that's clickbaity because that's what gets you to click on
Sure.
it, and then you have to go through all their pictures. But
Yeah.
every 5 to 10 pictures is an ad. So that's where they're getting paid out from.
Sure.
Because everyone's just on Snapchat just flipping through stuff
Sure.
anyway. They want to see that last picture. And so, yeah, you got videos, you got pictures, and yeah, you get a million, let's say you get 5 million people
Sure.
on there, and they're just clicking through it real fast because that's what they do with stories, and they have to watch 5 ads as they're going through it. You're
Right.
getting AdSense off of
Sure.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it starts. And I
didn't even think about that, but I do
think it's paying out good
I
now.
do cross promote on everything. So
Yeah.
Instagram I have, but I never really got into the like
into Instagram.
yeah.
I'm the same way, but actually I pick up a good following from Instagram.
Really?
Yeah.
Like reels?
yeah.
Do you do reels
That's
on there?
all I
yeah.
do, really.
Yeah.
But I struggle to get anyone to follow me at all. Like it's I feel like I'm like,
I feel like it's gonna blow up after this.
I hope
I feel
so.
like this is gonna be
I
the
hope
one
so.
that puts you to the top.
I hope so. It'd be cool. Because I try to do daily content. I don't always do it.
Sure.
Like here, like last week, I felt so bad because I had some people come on last week, and I had hit a point of mental burnout.
Yes.
Like where I hadn't like took a break, and I just needed to stop.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point this week still, like, because like last week I told myself I'm taking my week off. We're getting sidetracked here, but I was like, last week I'm like, I'm taking a week off. I worked Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday I got up and I'm like, all right, Ryan, you cannot work. And I was going to take the day off. Still got up because I had to do something like, and I wanted to upload a video. I still wanted to do content, so I still wanted to upload.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's it. That's all you got to do today. But I ended up spending like an hour or two on the computer. So I still worked 2 hours of the day.
Yeah.
I took the rest of that day off. I took all Thursday off and then ended up working again on Friday. The podcast is a different thing, but there was a gentleman that came out. Well, I had 2 gentlemen last week on the podcast that they came out, and mentally I was like brain fogged. And I was like just mentally drained where my energy wasn't there.
Sure.
And I hate it because one was my attorney, Adam Grayson. So Adam, if you're listening, I'm sorry, man. And then James Johnson. Do you know James Johnson?
I do. Okay.
Dude he has so much energy.
He does.
He brought it to 10. And I felt so bad. And I've even thought about like texting him like, hey man, I just want you to know like I was kind of low on energy. I don't think it was like enough that it really affected it.
Yeah.
But I think the conversation was affected because I don't think I didn't bring my A game.
Sure.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
And I know that I had to take some time every now and then to reset, but it just hit me. And I was like really drained, and I hate that. I hate the fact that I don't like being on cloud 9 the
Sure.
whole time or like at my
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
When I bring someone out, but this is something that like I love so much, and I'm very passionate about, and like this is where I want to take it to.
Sure.
Like, this is like I want to do podcasts. So I have a podcast every day this week.
Nice.
Every single day this week. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm pumping them out. I got 5 like in the chamber, like
Sure.
ready to come out already, and I got all the podcasts this week.
Sure.
And, yeah, loving it. Like
That's awesome.
This is what I want to be doing.
That's awesome.
More as
Sure.
the more I can get, the better.
Sure.
For sure.
Well, my TikTok, I'm like, I'm 30-ish people away from what I consider influencer status.
Yeah.
And I just last week got approved for Amazon influencer status. So now anything that I use in my TikToks that I can link in my Amazon storefront.
Yeah.
So on TikTok, everybody's link trees.
Yeah.
So I've been working on that. So, on my link tree, I'll have my Amazon storefront and then a couple other.
Yeah, and if you have a website, you can link a website.
Yeah.
Too.
So I have,
right.
I'm a Bucked Up ambassador.
Yeah.
So like some of that stuff that I have like promo codes for. So I have that. But when I said everything is like integrated, so like when people are picking up their stuff that they're buying from me, I'll throw in a Scentsy flyer.
Cool.
So then, they might be like, oh yeah, I forgot I wanted to order. So like everything is constantly being like crossing over.
Yeah.
It's not like on Mondays I do this and on Tuesdays I do this or, it's.
To grow a brand when you're selling Etsy or you want to start this new company or anything, to have a following on social media really helps. And that's what I learned that from Gary Vee.
Yeah.
And that's why I started making content a long time ago, because I realized that I know I'm going to want to sell a product one day.
Sure.
And if I have a following that trusts me,
Sure.
it's going to be a lot easier to promote this. Even if they're not buying it from me, if they're just sharing it,
Sure.
because I started a company or this product, selling this product, it would help me out for sure. So that's when I realized I'm like, I need to start making content.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I have fun doing it.
Yeah.
So, and I've learned a lot I've learned what I've loved along the way too. Like I learned that meeting new people has been so great. Like when I had started my podcast, I had like 100 people that I wanted to invite on. Mm-hmm. They were all basically people that I knew. I would say over half of them decided they weren't, no more, I would say 90% of them actually weren't like, they didn't want to come on for whatever reason.
Sure.
And then now 90% of my podcast is random people that I meet that just reach out to me.
Yeah.
Or someone's like, hey, you should have this person on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I reach out to them and like, what a blessing that's been.
Yeah.
Because just like you're an awesome person. You got an awesome personality. Like I love your drive and your passion. And I love meeting people like you. Because like you like the person you are the people that I want around me.
Sure.
Like those are the people that I'm trying to surround myself with, because it's someone like you that helps me grow.
Sure.
And you bring energy to me. Right? And so like I love it. Like that's what I've really learned to love, that I never thought I was going to love at the beginning of the podcast. It was a networking thing for me.
Yeah.
And it was also something to help me grow my content, but I never thought it would be like what it is now.
It's crazy how things just
work out.
and evolve. Yeah.
I don't know if that's, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I refused to have TikTok. Like, I mean, I refused. It was kind of like the Facebook thing. Like, I wanted to be the person, because I don't do anything that I don't want to do. So my friends are like, you have to get TikTok. You have to get TikTok. And I'm like, no. So there's.
Was it because they had TikTok that you didn't want it?
Kind of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that person.
Yeah.
I'm kind of that person.
Yeah.
So they were like sending me all these TikToks all the time, and I would watch them and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's funny or whatever. So then finally, I start my divorce process and I'm like, I got to find something to do with my time, right? I mean, all the free time that I just talked about that I have. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I got to find something to do.
If there's an hour gap, it's like, that's got to be.
Yes. Yeah. So I got it like January of last year. And my friends are like, we wanted you to get it so you could watch videos, not make them. And I'm like, this is so much fun.
Did you start immediately? How long did it take you before you started making a video?
Oh, like hours probably.
Literally.
It was like, okay, today I'm joining TikTok, and tonight, okay, I need you to come over because I'm going to make a video. I was like drinking wine in my shower or something. Like it was one of the trends at the time. I was like, I can do this. And then like, as it's evolved, like my friends are like, you're just crazy enough that like, I think you might actually be able to make it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'm funny. I mean, other people may or may not, but I think I'm funny.
So what are your videos on?
Everything. Like this morning it was about, I got brake checked on the highway on the way to CrossFit.
Yeah. So you're just selling yourself.
Some of them are videos. Some of them are, I mean, it's like all kinds of stuff.
I just started watching this chick that is hilarious on TikTok, and she's blowing up for sure. I don't know how long she's been doing it. I don't know her name. But she's like have you seen it? She's holding the camera like her own camera. It's already recording. She's like, "Hey, can you hold my phone?"
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know this girl?
So my friends,
hilarious,
my
dude.
friends sent that to me, and they're like,
So funny.
They're like, I didn't know you were at the beach last week, and I'm like, whenever she's like, hold this, it's ready to record, and then she like goes and attacks them on the beach, or she's in Walmart and she's like, hold this, yeah, that chick. She is hilarious.
She's brave.
She is funny.
Some brave stuff. She did the one where she's like, "Here, hold this," and she got in the she was already in the dog food at Walmart.
Oh yes.
And she's like, "Hey, can you help me out?"
Yes.
And then she got the. She's just so funny because she sings the hound dog.
Yes.
Ain't nothing but a hound
yes.
dog.
And so I'm like not quite that.
Yeah.
Extent.
No, you got to be brave to do something.
You like I do still I don't like criticism. I'm working on it, constructive or otherwise. It's a
not
learning.
always easy to take, but it is important.
It's a learning process.
Yeah.
Especially it's hard whenever you think that you're perfect. So,
Sure.
so that's
tough.
one of the things I'm working on. But that's why on my TikTok I'm like, oh, that chick is hilarious. But a lot of my stuff will be just like I'll see somebody's and I'll be like, oh, I can make that funnier.
Yeah.
Or
have you read Steal Like an Artist? Mm-mm. That's a good book. So it's the little bitty black book in there.
oh, okay.
It kind of stands out. I had Stephen Waldron. He owns Bourbon Cyclery
Okay.
over in Bourbon.
Yeah.
And he's also in sales for, I can never remember the company's name. I can picture it in my head, but I can't remember the name. But he recommended the book.
Okay.
He teaches a marketing class for what is it? It's a college in Columbia, but he teaches a marketing class for it. He came on the podcast. He recommended that book.
Okay.
And it basically talks about what you're doing.
Okay.
Like you see it.
Yeah.
Like they say steal like an artist because like all art is stolen in some
Sure.
way, but they talk about not to just copy it.
Yeah.
Exactly, but to see it and think that you can do it and improve on it and make
Sure.
it your own.
Sure.
So that I haven't read the whole thing yet, but it's a lot of pictures. It's very short, big words. The only reason I haven't read it yet is because I just haven't like set it down and read
Sure.
it. It's not
Sure.
that I just get distracted. I just haven't put it as a priority in my life yet.
Sure.
But I've watched a lot of stuff on it. I just read the description. I kind of like figured it out. Like
Sure.
it just pops up on my TikTok and people
Yeah.
explain it. And I love it because, yeah, I think like that's just part of the world we're living in now. Like
Yeah.
people are taking videos and they're recreating them and
Sure.
turning it into their own.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a big thing.
I mean, like last week I have 4 cats, J-Lo, Brittany, Christina, and Shakira. Those are
Nice.
Those are my 4 cats.
I love it.
So J-Lo, Brittany, and Christina had to go get fixed and declawed. So I didn't take into account how long it would take me to get 3 cats in a cage to go. So I was like, I think I'm gonna skip CrossFit because I had an army crawl under my bed. I'm like, I was running around the house. I'd get one in and another one would run out. So like I made a video on that.
Yeah, just
And
like
it's
a story time.
Yeah, it was like, oh my gosh, like
Those
my
are
little
funny too.
bitchachos this morning were not having it, and I'm skipping CrossFit because I'm worn out and I did CrossFit things trying to get my cats.
Yeah. I need to
So-
start doing some more stuff like that too. I struggle trying to come up with content, but I make a lot of similar stuff where it's just like things throughout my day.
Sure.
That I just make content from.
Yeah.
I also make a lot of stuff that's just like based off of, I want to try to help people.
Sure.
And like how you said, like you kind of want to start like, from what it sounds like, maybe like a course
Yeah.
for people, and like people can pay for the course and
Sure.
follow along and like,
Or like I can help them for like $10 a month. I can just be kind of like they can
Counseling.
get like a 30-minute call a week.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
For a fee.
yeah.
Just some way to like have a recurring.
What about like a life coach? You don't want to do that.
I don't know that I have my shit together enough to be a life coach.
Sure. I don't know. About that.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
just something.
I see what you're saying though. I think you would have more freedom in the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
To do what you want. Because I do watch, there's a gentleman that came on the podcast. He talked about how he's a videographer and he learned a lot of it is from YouTube. So he started watching guys on YouTube that had videographer videos that
Okay.
he followed along with.
Sure.
But then like if you really wanted like an in-depth course from them,
Sure.
you could pay into it. You could buy the course. I think he said he paid $600 for the one. He said there was one that was $1,800 that was a flop, or $1,600, but it ended up being a flop, and he lost all his money.
Yeah.
But he did one for $600. There was a whole course that he could own, and he could follow along with.
Sure.
There's that, but then I've seen some of them that you pay $10 a month. You get to be part of the group. You get to see private videos.
Yeah, it'd be like a private Facebook group with, ask people,
Is that kind of what you want to do?
Kind of.
Yeah, but you also want to be able to do like one-on-one
if they're willing
training,
to pay.
Mentorship.
Yeah, if they're willing
Be
to.
like a mentorship kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think you have a lot to offer there because you have a master's and you said you're very close to a doctorate. And like I said, like I can't go to the master's class or the doctorate class because I don't have the education there. But I could go to someone like you and I could get some of the same knowledge.
Sure.
And at extremely cheaper cost.
Right.
And maybe be able, because like I don't like the homework and I don't like the tests because I don't, that kind of stuff is the stuff that is pressure put on me that I don't think needs to be there. Like I learn best at my own pace. And so if I could pay for like some type of mentorship like this, or just where I could reach out to you and be like, hey, I got this idea, or I got this that I'm working on. Yeah. And you could help out with it. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a way to just.
So you're gonna wait till you think you got to hit the 10,000 on TikTok to do it?
I think.
Or what's holding you back from doing it?
Executive dysfunction is what's holding me back from it. And a lot of other things, I feel like it's the same thing. Like it's so overwhelming to start that I just don't, and then it just keeps getting put off. So
it's a big thing.
Yes.
To encompass it and start it all.
Yes. So, I just feel like I'm so close to like so many things, like, I mean, when I get to 10,000 on TikTok, I might be completely, like it might not be that great. I mean, I might not make the millions that I think I'm going to make, but I'm sure going to try.
Why not start another platform? YouTube.
See, my daughter does YouTube shorts all the time. Like
I'm talking longer form content.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I don't.
Like, why not take these courses
and just make them
5 minute, like make these
5-minute lessons or something?
Yeah, something
like little
on YouTube.
I don't know. I never even thought about that.
YouTube pays out a lot better.
Okay.
A lot better. I know there's a gentleman that came on here, Oakley. Do you know Oakley Corbin?
I know the name.
So he has a pretty good following on TikTok and on Facebook and Instagram, I think. And we kind of talked about it after, and he kind of showed me some stuff. And he gets about this. He has like a bigger following on TikTok, I believe, but he gets paid out better from Facebook.
Really?
The reels on Facebook.
Wow.
Facebook, that's something Gary's talking about. He's like, people are sleeping on Facebook, but Facebook has a lot more active following on it. Because you get the older generation, younger generation, people on it.
Yes.
A lot more. They just happen to be there a lot more.
Sure.
And they're paying out a lot better.
Wow.
People like the younger generation are like, no, Facebook's not for me.
Yeah.
The younger generation's going to TikTok.
Sure.
Some on Instagram.
Yeah.
But TikTok, YouTube, and then some on Instagram. But a lot of them don't want to do Facebook. And he's like, you guys are sleeping on Facebook because it's starting to blow up and people are getting paid out. And he had shown me, he's like, I'm getting paid a lot better.
Wow.
Do that. Yeah, so don't sleep on Facebook. You post on Facebook though, right?
Oh yeah.
Reels?
Yeah. I have posted some of my TikToks as Facebook Reels.
You should be posting all of them.
Okay. I think I've done like 6 or 8. Well, like sometimes my TikToks aren't necessarily appropriate for the people that might see it on the Facebook.
Yeah, I would just say screw it.
Yeah, I know.
Now Instagram, you can post a reel without posting it to your Instagram feed.
Oh, okay.
So like, I remember I was doing that for a minute. Like I liked it because I could post it. It would go to Reels, so people are watching Reels. They can see it. But everyone on my feed didn't have to see it because I felt like sometimes mine were kind of like, I don't know if I want my friends and family to see it. But then I just realized I don't give a damn anymore.
I know.
I don't
I'm so close.
Damn anymore.
I'm so close to that.
You know how you do it? You do it. You just got to start posting
my brother is my cheerleader when it comes to that. I'll call him and he'll be like, why do we care?
Dude, you have 10,000 followers on TikTok. You should be posting them on Facebook.
I know.
For sure.
I know.
And I have not 1,000. I have like 1,200 followers on Facebook. Less than 1,000 on TikTok. I don't even know what on Instagram. 371 on YouTube.
That's why I said we're it's gonna blow up.
Yeah, but like the fact that I'm doing it and you're not, you
I
definitely
know.
need to be doing
I
it.
know.
Because I get a lot more views on YouTube Shorts are big. They're starting to really blow up. That's where I get a ton of views from. And then I also get a ton of views.
And do you like try to cross, where they can go and see all of the things on all of your things?
As far as what do you mean?
Like cross promoting. So you have your YouTube channel on your TikTok.
Yes, I have like on everything.
Because I've seen your Facebook and I've seen your YouTube, but I don't think I've seen the TikTok yet.
No, I don't. It's all bringing everybody to YouTube.
Okay.
That's where I want to be.
Yes.
I want to post on everything, but I enjoy long form content.
Yeah.
I just enjoy YouTube's platform.
Sure.
I personally watch YouTube's platform a ton. I mean, I watch TikToks.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly and really enjoy YouTube. I enjoy TikTok. There's some
Sure.
funny videos on it and stuff like that. But YouTube, for some reason, is like my place I go that I found that I really like.
Sure.
I don't really have anyone on TikTok that I follow that have impacted my life.
Sure.
And I think this is a big reason why I did start making content too. But there was a time in my life where I was in a lull, like I was in a really bad spot in my life. And I was just trying to make my life better, but I was like just in a dark place, like kind of like going through a breakup, and
Sure.
I was like having a lot of struggles because I was handling like paying my own house and paying a bunch of bills, and it was just like it was scary,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I remember I found some people on YouTube that really like made like out of all the darkness in my day, these people made my day better. I could sit
Nice.
down, watch YouTube, and I could relate to their personality,
Sure.
and I felt like they were my friend almost.
Sure.
And they made my life better, and then come to find out that they had gone through these dark times too. And so like through all that, I was like really connected to them.
Sure.
And I love that they had millions of followers, and that they were. I mean, I remember there's people guaranteed. I mean, musicians are a good example
Sure.
of how much that music impacts someone's life, and
Yeah.
like how many musicians have saved people from suicide, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
song that has saved
yeah.
someone from
Yeah.
killing themselves. But I feel like I know there's people on YouTube that have sent the guys messages and said, "Hey, because of your videos, I didn't
Sure.
kill myself tonight."
Yeah.
And to me, I love that.
That's
I was never
inspiring.
that dark of place,
Yeah.
but it definitely made like light in a dark place a lot of times for me. So that's why I love it. And I think
Yeah.
that's why I push towards it a lot.
Sure.
And I'm not good at making short form content.
Yeah.
I struggle so much making short form content, and also I'm not good at comedy. Like I'm not good at humor.
Oh.
And so I struggle so much, and that's where TikTok is.
Sure. Yeah.
Is very like you shine on those platforms
Sure.
better if you're good with comedy. or
I mean,
humor.
I think I'm funny, and that's whenever I'm doing my TikTok lives, I'm like,
Yeah.
make sure you follow me because you might laugh. I think I'm funny. I
Yeah.
don't know if you will. Like, so and I do on my TikToks also. I do a lot of CrossFit stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just because I hope that maybe somebody will see it and be like, oh, if she can go to the gym, I can go to the gym.
Love that.
Or, like if she can do this, I can do this. Cause I think you probably know this of all people, like the gym's kind of intimidating,
Extremely intimidating.
and CrossFit's very leave your pride at the door. I'm working out next to 75-year-old guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're all,
Owning a gym, one of my biggest things I've tried to do is I'm trying to, and I'm doing this by myself, but there's other people that are doing it,
Sure.
but trying to eliminate that persona of the only person that can go to the gym is a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
If you have to be in shape, you have to be
Yep.
this bodybuilder with abs and
Yep.
steroid up to go to the
Sure.
gym, and it's not like that. I tell everyone like we're all here
Yep.
working on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like everyone that comes here has something going on physically or mentally with themselves that they
Yep.
want to improve, and this is where they're coming
Yep.
to improve on it in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And I try to tell everyone, I'm like, it's people of all shapes, sizes,
Oh, yeah.
age, and genders.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're all, when you come in here, you become a part of a family.
Yeah.
And like we're all family, we're all like-minded people, and I'm like, just get it out of your head. because
that's
not
like
how
the
we are.
biggest thing about CrossFit is the community.
Yeah.
There's been like, I always say CrossFit saved my life. For real. Like there were some days that I probably wouldn't have gotten out of bed. but gotta be there at 8 a.m. or my friends are texting going, are you coming today?
Yeah, it's good to have friends.
You know,
like that.
so, I mean, and I'm not hanging out with them outside of the gym. You know, we're just going in at 8 a.m. We're catching, I mean, we talk just as much as some of my other friends because we see each other every day.
Yeah.
But, you know, I try to, maybe people will see me and be like, oh, you know, because I hate running. I hate cardio. So I'm going to CrossFit and I mean, if I have to do burpees and cardio, I'm complaining, but I mean, I'm doing it.
Sure.
So you know, I just hope that maybe somebody will see that and be like, oh, okay, I can.
I think they will. I think people will see that, and I think it will help them. Because I think the narrative for a long time has been the only people that got shined was Arnold Schwarzenegger and the bodybuilders and the bros and the chads. And so, like, that's what scared everyone away. And it's like, we got to get rid of that because going to the gym and exercising is just as important as eating healthy and getting 8 hours of sleep a night. It's so good. Like, like even today before you came, I was trying to do like some yoga and some stretching because I'm trying to at least get some blood flowing in my body and just get warmed up for the day. Yeah. Because I'm trying to take this week off too. And so since I didn't get to last week, I'm trying to do it this week. And yesterday I was cleaning out freaking sewer lines. And so I'm hoping I got a company there today. I'm hoping that they can get it handled. Yeah. And I don't have to go in and I can just try to take this week off and because I feel great today. I took some time off. I had some weddings this past weekend. You ever been to Leatherwood? Did you see that video I posted on Leatherwood?
I did not.
Are you into cigars or bourbon or anything? Neither one of those?
I mean, I am friends with people that are.
Yeah. Well, there's a place over in St. James, Missouri, that's called Leatherwood, and it's just it's a cigar lounge. Oh, and nice. I went there with there's a group called The Collective over in Rolla, Missouri, and it's for just young entrepreneurs, young business owners, and the guys of it all were like, hey, we should all get the guys together and we should go to cigar lounge, hang out, and just network. And I'm like, I'm in. Yeah, I'd love to. I've always wanted to go to Leatherwood, and I love networking and connecting like that. So, yeah, we went there, and it was just a really cool place. That's where I got this cigar cutter.
Oh, nice! That's fancy.
Yeah, this thing is dope. And the guy from Leatherwood, his name's Robert. He's coming on Thursday.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, this has two sides to it.
Damn.
Feel this thing. It is heavy.
I was gonna say it looks like it's heavy.
It's a brick, and it's
like a paperweight as well.
Yeah, it would work great for that.
Nice.
But he was explaining how, I guess there's like a Rolex.
Is it like his product?
No, this is.
Oh, it's just one of the things he carries.
Yeah, it's one of the things he carries. He has one that was in a lighter form.
Oh, okay.
So when he lights the lighter or the cigar for me, and he like has like this end piece that like you smoke through the cigar.
Okay.
I don't know nothing about cigars.
I know, me either.
I know nothing.
That's kind of fancy for me.
Yeah, he was explaining it all to me. He's like, well, we got to light this piece and you got to puff into it to enrich the flavors or something. But he had this block and it opened up and he lit it. It was like this one. I bought this from him too. But it's just massive. Oh, it's not going to work, of course. What the heck? Come on, dang.
I'm like, is it? Oh,
it's like this.
It's like a torch.
Yeah, it's cool. But it came out of here, and I was like, I want that. I want to buy that. I was like, do you sell it? And he's like, yeah. And he didn't have the lighter, but he had this cutter. But he explained that this was actually deprived from a company from France that makes like lighters like this that are all made out of precious metals. Oh. And they have this, but it's like micro. They're like micro all over it. Like a little, it kind of look bedazzled, but a lot fancier. Yeah. And he's like, it's the Rolex brand of lighters and cigar accessories. Nice. And this is deprived from it. And basically what the guy did, he wanted to make a blown up version. Oh, so it's this times like 1,000 on the lighter. So this is like a blown up version of it. Wow. So he's like, that's where it's deprived from. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So I bought it from him.
Heavy. I mean, if somebody like broke in here, we could just throw it out.
Yeah, just
too.
I mean,
it would double as a weapon. I mean, you can throw it because I can't hit anybody, but
yeah, you just a good baseball throw at that thing. If you could hit, you could do some damage.
Yeah, it would definitely. It would hurt somebody. That's cool though.
I better knock him out if you hit him just right.
Or like, ooh. Yeah. I mean, even in the stomach, like.
Yeah, it would hurt.
Like throwing a giant rock.
So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get off here? We've probably been in it for a minute now. I bet we've been in it a couple hours. What's our time limit right now, Ariel? 2 hours and 20 minutes. Dude, the podcast
No way.
by.
No way.
I we got to have you back out sometime.
Okay.
Because this one, my first podcast is always like getting to know people,
Sure.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we could even bring someone else back
Yeah.
on. Are you not a drinker?
Kind of.
drinker?
Not heavy, not very often.
Fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But I'd love to,
I told Logan whenever he was pumping me up last night, I said, I probably should have picked the evening one, so I could have had a couple drinks. I'm like,
were you nervous at all?
just a little, because I just didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But not,
I would say your background has really.
yeah, I mean, I was the president of my chamber, so I was like 27 years old running meetings with,
Yeah.
Oh,
awesome.
So, I mean,
I can tell you right now, you made the podcast super easy. When you come in, I could tell you're comfortable from the very beginning. Some of them I have to start the podcast out kind of massaging everyone
Sure.
just to get them comfortable.
yeah.
And that's like the difference between some podcasts. It's not,
Sure.
if I had to like massage them and start working them, because I've
Yeah.
had people come on and I start to talk about something and they just give me a yes or no answer. And there's no conversation to it. And I'm like, all right, well, okay, so let's go on to the next thing now. And then I ask them again, and they're just like, yep. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tough one.
Well, I like to talk, so it worked out.
Yeah, it was really great. I think everyone's really going to enjoy it. We are going to wrap it up.
Sure.
But I do really appreciate you coming on.
Ah, thanks for having me.
We're going to have you back out sometime.
Okay.
I need you to sign my
I can do that.
banner over here.
I can do that.
And if you guys are still listening, make sure to go follow her on. TikTok for sure.
Yes.
Get her to 10,000.
Yes.
And then find her on.
I mean, I have Facebook. I have
Do you have them linked together? Like if they go to your TikTok, can they pull over to the Facebook?
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't like those people to be the same necessarily. I don't want my Facebook.
You need. Oh well. Are you on? Have you made a creator page on Facebook?
I have not.
You need to do that.
What?
Yes.
I don't even know I don't know what you're talking about.
So
There's like a thing?
Yeah. So on
Okay.
Facebook, if you're not.
I try to keep my Facebook stuff like fairly like private.
Okay. So you want to keep it that way? So like I'm a creator page. So like I have
okay.
1.2K followers. And then
Okay.
and like yours is like they can just go and follow me without actually being my friend.
Okay.
So, like,
okay.
yeah, so, like,
okay.
they'll just pop
That's what
up.
I need then.
Yeah, you need to do that
Because I don't want like weirdos to see pictures of my kids sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know what the separation.
While I think they would bring them back if they ever kidnapped them.
Well,
I
what
just don't like, sometimes.
You could make a whole new page.
Oh, I could do that too.
You could just make a whole new creator page.
I could do
And
that.
link them all together there.
Yeah.
Because I've thought about doing it for the podcast.
Yeah.
But I don't care.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I'm to the point now where I don't really care about sharing, like family. Like I don't care about sharing like super personal stuff.
Yeah.
And like all my pages are just now content pages.
Nice.
That's all they are.
Nice.
So like I'm sure I have some stuff on there in the past. I don't really care.
Right.
Like
I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Yeah, like it's just. But I think make a separate page.
Okay. Yeah.
Make a separate page. Link them all together.
I'll
'cause-
put that on my list.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll put that on my list.
But go find her on TikTok. What's the name again? Say it for them.
It's JAMIELEO 2005.
Okay. Make sure to go find her. Give her a follow. We're gonna get you to 10,000.
We're gonna blow up this podcast.
We're gonna blow up this podcast. Manifestation right there. I love it. Yeah. Make sure you guys like, subscribe. Peace.